Hello, one and all. Welcome to the Wisconsin Esports Conference Finals of the spring 2026 season. The two teams taking the rift tonight have proven themselves to be two of the strongest squads in the state, and they will now face off against one another with a title on the line. Without wasting any time, let's introduce your finalists. First up, this team has had a very dominant run throughout the entire split, having dropped only 2 games and 0 matches up to this point. They come into this final fight as the favorites, poised and ready to secure another trophy for Titletown. Representing the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay, your number 1 seed, Phoenix. In the top lane, the Troglodyte. Starting in the jungle, Akira Chud Racer. In the mid lane, Not KM. At AD carry, Valco. Starting at support, Verdant Chaos. Our other finalist has looked unbeatable in the postseason. They are currently on a 6-game win streak, including a 4-0 record in the playoffs. They were burned by Phoenix the last time these two teams met, but tonight is their opportunity for revenge. Representing the Milwaukee School of Engineering, your number 2 seed, Raiders. In the top lane, Can't Type. In the jungle, Super Ultra Ray. Starting in the mid lane, Toad. In the bot lane, Packet. Alongside at support, JMG. Will the Phoenix continue its flight, or will the Raiders be able to take it down? Bringing you the call on this magical Monday night in the Midwest. My name is Truman44, and I am joined by the amazing Abba Trombone for the action. Abba, it has been a while. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good, pretty excited, looking forward to some Wisconsin gaming, aka some cheese on the Rift. We'll see how this all goes with both teams at it. Both are on the line. These are the number 1, number 2 seed teams. So I expect a bloodbath. We'll see if we get to a game 4 or 5, or if we should go home free walk.
We'll see. Yeah, it has. I'm pretty sure the Raiders have not been able to take a game off of UW Green Bay all season. The 2 games that UW Green Bay did lose were both to Wisconsin-Madison, I believe, who they did manage to eliminate in that semifinals. So the Raiders, for sure, the underdogs tonight. They're going to get one more chance to try to take down UW Green Bay here, who I believe we are seeing on the stream right now, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty unique situation we've got here, Abba. We're obviously casting remotely. The players are obviously playing on LAN. So pretty cool to be able to see them sort of hanging out before getting underway here in the match.
Yeah, go ahead and wave to them. I'm sure they can see us all the way from over here.
You might be watching, yeah.
Yeah, all the fans adoring, cheering in the background. It's pretty cool to be able to do a LAN party, back in Yield like 2,000 days.
And just getting where we are now, getting into this Game 1 champion select, Mr. Trombone. What are you expecting here in terms of priorities?
Well, I would expect UWG to try and be able to get the best game plan and prioritize whatever champions they can. Based on the precursor I saw, there wasn't a whole lot of overlap. I might expect a Nocturne ban, being I think I saw quite a few games from Mosey having those, but Nocturne doesn't quite have the same effect as it does in solo queue, just because you're in that comms playing with everyone else on the team, so you can call things out for the Nightmare.
Yeah, the Nocturne, interesting shout. There certainly are some professional teams that really highly prioritize the Nocturne. But it is something that, some teams certainly utilize more effectively than others. I'm thinking about T1 right now, obviously, Owner being a big fan of the Nocturne, and some other teams as well. But, the primo Nocturne pairing these days is, of course, the Orion.
That's true.
It's made it through this draft so far. That is certainly something that could be first picked if it does make it through.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, one of the things about first picking Ori there is you don't necessarily show your game plan, but there's a lot of stuff that you see with it. If you don't have the Nocturne, maybe you have a Malphite or someone like a J4 who can get in, really utilize that. So just show your hand a little bit, but it's certainly on the table, and pretty good pick as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't think it really reveals too much, right? It can sort of indicate that you're going towards more of a team fighting composition, but the Orion is pretty flexible. It's just a relatively safe laner, is going to scale relatively well later on into the game. But the Ahri is going to be the option instead. So I do feel like the Ahri is really strong right now and does also have some really potent pairings. You're immediately thinking about things like the Vi and the Wukong that are both also still available.
Well, I know Renekton's been, but Ahri Renekton just being able to roam a lot, especially if you had Renekton sort of being able to dash around. Any other jungler that can do that. I believe Evelyn was a popular pick for this duo many seasons ago.
Evelyn?
Yeah, so you just kind of roam, charm, and then boom, 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 do your combo, and then just get out because you got a lot of mobility.
I don't know if I'm sold on that one, but maybe we'll see the Evelyn come through. Riven Wukong is going to get locked away by the Raiders over there. So the Riven, definitely a pretty surprising. That has got to be a comfort pick.
And you usually don't see top pick right away. So I'm curious how this is going to go, because it's a very counter matchup lane. So I guess, blue side probably going to pick some sort of top laner and maybe a jungle to match with it, which means we're saving AD carry and support in the pack. I'm curious how we're going to deal with a lot of these knockups as well. Wukong, Riven both have knockups.
Yeah, the Nefiri could be a decent answer here. It is obviously pretty slippery, and it is climbing in priority right now across regions. So definitely don't mind seeing that come through. I can confirm that Riven is indeed a comfort pick. Can't type the top laner for the Raiders. By far, most played is the Riven. 70 games this season with a 53% win rate. So with the Garen, of course, is a very, very well-known counter pick into the Riven. So Green Bay feels like a great answer in this situation.
Ooh, a Silas. He's one of those champions that really warps your draft, because not only are you getting the ultimate, but so is the enemy team. As Silas can steal those, and it's a pretty good win condition. It looks like this team really wants some sort of pick skirmish, or depending on how they want to pad things out, they could go team fight. But Wukong, Riven, Silas, they're all these kind of champions that want to jump and get on top of their targets.
Yeah, already this game number one is looking like a complete brawl. A lot of melee champions on both sides. I do like the Silas into the Ahri. This is something that does work really well generally, being able to steal away that Spirit Rush, and the Silas just kind of having the extra dash in the kit there actually does make you more mobile than the Ahri. So that can be really powerful, and it's going to be a really massive spike for the side of the Raiders at level 6 when the Cyclone and the Hijack come online. But taking a look at the second ban phase, now we've got the Poppy and the Twitch getting taken away by Milwaukee, and Green Bay is going to take away a couple of support options in the Seraphine and the Rakan.
Yeah, I think this Poppy ban makes a lot of sense, because this game is going to go we're talking very brawly. I don't know if you watched a lot of the Ratoni's games, but you watched Faust use Poppy just to decimate fights by breaking stuff up. and on a big brawl that can be pretty game winning. So I think those make a lot of sense. I was surprised with the Seraphim because I think Burton has some games with that, and that'd be pretty good. They must be pretty afraid of that with their game plan. So I'm curious what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, the Zaya pick on 4 here, really interesting for Milwaukee. It doesn't really feel like it matches too well with the rest of their draft. Obviously the rest of these champions are all kind of wanting to dive forward, dive into the fight, where the Zaya is obviously all about kind of kiting backwards and setting up for those big blade callers. So maybe just more of a response into that Ari Neferi wanting to have that defensive tool of the Featherstorm. Tristana Braum is going to come out here for Green Bay. Could be a really potent bot duo.
Oh yeah, I really love this duo. I've played it before, both in Braum and Tristana, and you're able to get a lot of picks just because you got the slow in Tristana followed up by the Braum Q or vice versa, try and get them to hit, and then you can pretty well get those to go off. 4 ticks for the bomb, 4 ticks for the stun, and it's pretty devastating. Kind of going back to that Zaya pick before the Alistar, I was thinking, maybe they weren't going to expect a lot of peel, that all these other champions are going to be engaging. So Zaya in any sort of counter engage would be by themselves. So they might have had some spacing concerns, but now I'm seeing this Alistar. Maybe this is in response partially due to the Tristana. It's very interesting. A lot of bulk to be had on these teams.
Yeah, for sure. I do really have to question that R5 Alistar pick. You're picking any kind of melee support into Braum always just feels terrible. I mean, it really is a pretty huge self-counter pick. But, on the other hand, if you're just not really planning on playing for the lane, if the purpose of the Alistar is really just mostly to peel for the Zaya in those mid and late game fights, then maybe it could make some sense. Maybe it could work out.
To me, Zaya doesn't have a strong laning phase, and Tristana has one of the stronger level 1 laning phases as well, and they can pretty reliably get the push just because of Tristana's natural lead. So I'm wondering if, that Alistar is going to be roaming around, and Zaya's just like, you know what? Screw it. Laning phase, done. I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot. My job is to not die and be within 20 CS of my laning opponent or something. Meanwhile, my support can go ahead and wreak some sort of havoc. Maybe we can get an early Wukong play because that could be really potent. If you can get him ahead, or if you can get Riven ahead, she can be really deadly, especially if you know her combos very, very well. So I'm curious to see how this all is going to play out.
Yeah. I mean, that could definitely also work if the Alistar wants to try to go for some roams and impact the other parts of the map. But I do feel like that's a really risky proposition against UW Green Bay, or their highest ranked player is the AD carry, Valko. Is the only Masters player on the team. So kind of giving him a free lane where he can pressure the tier 1 with the Tristana and get all that money from turret plates. It's hard for me to imagine that be a winning proposition for the Raiders.
And if I was going to do that game plan that I just described, the first champion that comes to mind is Ezreal. Someone like that with Arcane Shift who can really get out of it in a pickle if they need to and buffer. Zaya's not necessarily going to be able to do that. So I am curious to see how this plays out. But maybe they just think they're better. They're you know what? I'll give you an advantageous lane. I'm going to win anyways because I'm a master.
Yeah. I mean, I do think for the side of the Raiders, their draft hinges in large part on what Toad is going to be able to do with this Sylas. Kind of feels like that's the one lane where they've drafted themselves a winning matchup. I mean, yes, our top laner has a ton of mastery on Riven and could end up popping off later on, but it's going to be really tough to get advantages 1 versus 1 against the Garen. And the Sylas even is going to probably struggle early on against the Ari. Obviously has that range disadvantage. So it's going to be, I think, that level 6 spike for the Wukong on the Sylas, and Toad and Super Ultra Ray, I think, are going to need to find some kind of angle, some kind of opportunity right around that point in the game to really make this draft effective, in my opinion.
I agree. A lot of people think, the game starts once you're in Summoner's Rift, you buy your starting items, you leave, you do your 5 point, whatever. It actually really starts in the draft phase where you decide some of those matchups. And like we were saying, these counters. and whatnot, it can make your life a lot harder, put yourselves into deficits where you might not have been, even if you're the better player. Sometimes these matchups are just really hard. As we're getting into the game, we have to see if that theory plays out or not.
Yeah, all right. On to the Rift we go, Abba, for game number 1. University of Wisconsin, Green Bay. On the blue side, Milwaukee School of Engineering Raiders. On red, starting off this best of 5. I didn't think it was best of 3 earlier, but we're in for the long haul here, actually, Mr. Trombone. Yeah, potentially 5 games on our hands.
It could be.
Green Bay, definitely the favorites coming in tonight, and I do quite like their drafting game. One of those notices. That's great. On to KM here at level 1. Finds the abduct onto the Ari.
Yeah, it looks like we either have Hex or Chemo Dragon. Because the thing does not show up with that. That's been a known bug for any of our viewers wondering.
Yeah, going on about 3 years now for that bug.
Yep.
Eventually, probably not though.
Just a missing asset. That's like one line of code right.
Hire Abba. We fix that up for you in about 30 minutes. You gotta finish the full out Troglodyte. Okay, has to flash. Ignite going down there for Camp Tight. And the Ribbon Mastery already on display.
Yeah, I was about to say, you know, like, hey, look at this James right here. Looks like Garen's doing pretty well, and then the Ignite happened, then you flash out. I'm like, oh, well, I'm not really saying anything.
Now, we do have both of our junglers starting on their respective red watches. Pathing towards opposite sides here. Wukong going to be pathing down towards this Tristana Braum lane. See if they're actually going to be able to make something happen. I mean, neither jungler really excels at ganking 3-6.
You kind of need some setup. I mean, in theory, Alistar can like jump, pulverize onto someone, and that sounds a little bit of a root fall on there. That might not be enough with the disengagement tools that are available. So I don't know what the message are going to do there. Maybe they just didn't want to be parallel side to it. They don't want to interact. Just want to get their farm. At least the Troglodyte top side is pushing between some areas and probably leave it a jungle there at all. So he's going to gank it. So maybe just like return. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot for 6th level. Should hopefully be wooden balance.
Yeah, it's a relatively calm early game so far. Just that flash burned off the Garen, really the only significant event that's happened. Junglers will be likely trading off these Scuttle Crabs, and we'll just see if the farming is going to continue after that. A very slight lead for Green Bay, as that was the first pick, picked up by KM in the mid lane, utilizing that range advantage that we talked about earlier.
Okay. Pick that up, mid lane. It looks like that HP deficit has somewhat resolved. She lost like procs. She's a little bit low on mana.
Ooh, this is interesting. So, Ultra Ray is sticking around to take away the Raptor respawn on the default. So that is going to be a camp advantage for Ultra Ray, but it is going to delay the reset. We'll see if Chug Racer is going to be able to find anything on this timer. Doesn't suspect Wukong falling in the bush.
They pinged it.
Super will vacate the area with his extra camp. And in theory, a little bit homeless right now. Not really able to find too much to do in the meantime.
Yeah, there's just Krugs and hope for a level 4 game to work out. With,
Ooh, there is an opportunity. Maybe his Toad flashing away from the first dagger. And so the Cyrus will be able to get away from that attempt from Akira. But burning the flash there on the silence, right before 6, definitely does feel a bit bad. Remember, that was a big timer that I was looking for in this game. It says Akira was very aggressively for enemy rat, who's taking a beating right now. The Ultra Ray, the stronger reset coming out now that a Fury's gonna have to flash. Yeah, you're right. The top lane. The silence does come down, but it's one more auto from the Ribbon, and it's going to the top laner of Milwaukee, picking up this blood.
Yeah. Just being able to get those combos now. I'm wondering if Troglodyte just didn't have like the right W time. They did like sort of before the spring to get it out. Because, oh no, Ignite just came right back. So I think that was enough. Maybe they didn't have the timing there. UWG is just being a little too aggressive. KM was still low in mana. They tried to take that fight mid lane. They stuck around, weren't able to get that shove. They were able to get that reset just recently, but at the time of that, they really didn't have that. It was just kind of awkward timers. But that being said, if you look at the gold right now, 0-1, so first blood going onto red side. Gold's hot, slight advantage on blue side.
Yeah, I wonder if we could pull up the scoreboard at least for a moment. We can take a look at the CS numbers. The main part of this code, and they find strong towards the end of that. As it's stolen away, Spirit Rush, I believe, was actually used there by the Silas. Not 100% sure. I think I saw a scoreboard there for a second, maybe.
Oh, yeah, there's the...
Okay, right in the mid lane, breaking out. Goes down to the final change. Very low on the AMC. Code still alive. It was a great takedown. The reset. In goes Valvo. The Goomba stomp onto the enemy mid laner. And now I believe that's get away from him. Get by the charm over the wall. And charge the flash. And the bomb will get the kills now for the Tristana. And it's going to be UW Green Bay picking up the 3-1 team fight.
Now, Gold's making a little bit more sense as well. Top side, pretty even. Gold was like totally killed their jungle. Surprisingly pretty even right now, despite the Raptors being stolen. Mid side, though, that range advantage seems to be pretty big. And like we're saying, Zai doesn't have the greatest laning phase, so they're down a little bit. But all in all, not too bad. For things considered, I think before that fight it was a little bit more, so maybe there's a wave that you can pick up. Pushing bot side works for them.
Cannot go unpunished.
Oh, there's flash burned again on Troglodyte, I guess. This Riven ultimate coming out. Blade of the Exile. You have the Dragon now being taken by Milwaukee, looking for their first neutral objective of the game. They did lose out in that team fight around the mid lane, but they're trying to continue the top lane aggressive. The Cyclone is available now for Ultra Ray. I believe the Cyclone is still only level 5 for that previous turn. Dragon is going to be secured, and looks like it will actually be traded for the Grubs because the Chug Rays were already in position. But no, wait, they're actually looking for potentially a play onto the Riven. Cantype does have both summoners available and wasn't even in the lane regardless, so they are going to go back towards the Grubs.
Yeah, I mean, I'll like the float play. Maybe you get a pick. If not, you got Grubs right over there. While you're talking about that, yeah, it is way to get
Nailed it. We do see, obviously, Burden Chaos did go up towards the top side to assist with the Grub taken, so Valko is going to have to play very safely in this bot lane in the meantime. Not wanting to look for a 1 versus 2 situation. That would be necessary, although KM. Roam. Spirit Rush available.
There's not a whole lot of, space, though. No one's the biggest wave. There is going to be a bounce back, but the timer just isn't quite there.
Yeah, option for Milwaukee to set up a slow push here if they would like to, but Valko can kind of just put the kibosh on that as well with the way Tristana works with the detonation damage on the E. Really tough to manipulate waves against the Tristana.
Yeah.
Yeah, the top lane is definitely looking pretty fiery. I was talking about the Garen being a favorable matchup. Fine here. Favorable matchup for the Garen, and actually, I was taking a look, and the most played for Troglodyte is Garen. So both top laners on comfort here, but still Cantype, who's been winning out so far, just getting advantages in the 1 versus 1. As Toad's gonna face check, and tries to flag away, and immediately taken down. Not respecting the fall of war, in goes the Sun Ranger. Power, but no! Hey, yeah, picks up the kill, and it's gonna be 5-2. on the board. Green Bay with a 2K gold lead.
And the goals should only get wider here as the players get their response. Losing some farm when the order is behind. So it's going to be a little bit harder for players each time when the plays happen. We're able to get the play here as well. Getting the lane to roam to help out with this.
Let's run.
Yeah, some counter jungling done there by Akira as well. Looks like they will be able to take this southern crab. Ray actually going to work to push her forward, but not time to contest the shellfish.
2 minutes on Greg.
Oh, another all into the top lane. Which side comes up? Forward for the auto. Can't fight a solo kill. Another solo kill in the top lane. Starting to feel like this Riven might be the hope for Milwaukee in game number 1.
Yeah, I think Riven. We'll have to look at the level differences as well as the production of their kills. The lane stuff as well, so there's going to be a little more of a loss of XP, and there's no like teleport for them as well. I mean, just the item difference below 20 CS and killing so effectively 3 kills ahead.
Yeah.
Pretty massive.
Yeah, and the Axiom Mark, first item done for can't type.
I mean, if you're getting big kills like this, well, right?
Yeah, just indexing towards lethality, maximum burst damage. They are mostly squishy champions on the enemy team, right? It's really Rom who's going to be building anti-resistances. There's a nice charm that's going to force out the Unbreakable Will from JMG. 1 minute before the dragon spawns. I think that Alistar ultimate is going to be back available.
I don't think so either. It's serious burden.
Oh, the front lane mid lane. Oh, damage to try to get the distance. The doggos are following those. The silence is shooting out. Hero jumping forward. Kill. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Ray stunned up and concussive blows. Loses half of his health bar.
I'll be able to heal up in time potentially.
Yeah,
Not the back though, the teleport. Oh no!
Probably Unbreakable Chaos Soul Live for the feathers going for a with flash, not quite enough though, as Nazo burns both summoners barely survive. As that was can't type on the roam, didn't even use the teleport for that one, just right click down there all the way to the top lane. And had a pretty big impact, but they only got 1 kill. They're going to try to transition this into a double dragon. And WEC is not joining. It doesn't look like just wants to farm that top outer turret. Can't has reset the defense disruptor. And Akira is in the area.
Steroids to I don't think he really has it. We had the disconnection burden and also gas timer, and then there was never going to be a good time for them to coordinate the vision to make sure they could do the attack, and then
All right, so we're going to have a Hex Soul for game number 1, and both of the early dragons have on the way of Milwaukee. They're still a little bit behind in gold, but I actually quite like their position now in this game.
Yeah. I like that position. I mean, when you have such strong...
right in the jungle. Ultra Ray already using her for Akira. A little bit global mission right now. Back in flashing forward. And this goes. Put down. That was an 800 gold shutdown for the Zaya. And a big mistake from Akira.
Because, like, UWG's big recon is their, or at least their best player. I believe it's Delco or it's Diane. So getting
mid lane. Oh, there might be a couple of spear rush forward.
Oh my goodness!
Solo kill. And the can't type on wraparound. AM flies to it. Rushes back over the raptor wall. And will not be caught out by the Riven. We also got the link angle for JMG. Look at this position of the Alistar. Finds the combo. All top for can't type. The Riven there. Oh, it's flash! A little bit more damage was needed. They can't find the Alistar is so high with the Unbreakable Will. And Akira not able to find it. Oh! Oh, finishes off the Yari, but it's going to be a trade back as Ultra Ray also goes down. And Troglodyte is a true top laner. No other part of the map exists. He is in the top lane. He will be staying there.
You know what? His first hour.
Yeah, it is.
First hour?
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
I'm just not going to get that sort of lane pressure. Oh, okay, lane for him. I can't tie this in. Pretty, being item up almost 2 at this point. They really need that full value upside. Speaking of value, all those shutdowns being headed is still not even gold. But a lot of the gold did get funneled into these important ways of coming back into this game. And if they're able to get these Hextech dragons, cooldown really favorable. They've got so many loaded abilities, being able to get extra on that. Pretty disgusting.
All right, Arrow fight brewing. Ultra Ray about to back cycle back available. Stolen by Code. Arrow going eliminating for the Braum. The one so far, the objective has been to walk the Ultra Ray, separating himself from the team. Take it down with Kong, just isolating himself there. That will be another kill for KM.
Yeah, I think you can see it right now with the Wario. I've won, but at what cost? We're gonna have to see how much power value. We're gonna need a lot of pressure for this. I think it'll work out in their favor. The Evil S not working in favor, hitting the champion right there means so much power. So it's alive for another day. Although I don't think I'm gonna be able to keep that priority long enough. The bot tower should be going forward. Mid tower is pretty low, which means, in theory, Akira should be able to start picking away at
the tower secured by the side of Green Bay in bot lane, but now fighting right now. Shot onto Ultra Ray to try to get Chaos out of safety. Unbreakable will utilized by the Outro there. And on cooldown once again for the Dragon fight.
We also got Tristana as well, so Valkyrie is going to be out of that. Important that they use that. I don't think barrier was going to be enough to save them there. I am actually pretty soft with all these champions. I just want to get on top of it.
Yeah, I agree. I think are you thinking about for Toa, the farm on JM? Not committing to that one. Did have Spirit Rush available. Wasn't sure who else was lurking in the area. But really commit. Toad to the change of the wall. Find the stand fight. Okay, Fiori did get hit down. Zero. Alive. Valko forced to jump back over the wall into the red buff pit.
Yeah. I think we get that bomb reset. And a lot of these, like, go playmaking moves. We do have the roof on the ultimate though, so I don't know how they get in and steal through.
Yeah, it's going to be tough without KM here as the Hextech Soul Point decided to walk if they can get this next objective. So a little bit isolated, but no, the cavalry comes in. First down, does from the door. Dalco still hitting for free on the back. The Dragon's already been taken. Right now, looking for Michael's going to find himself a hole for Stafford's going to find himself away. Reset! Massive team fight win, UW Green Bay.
Your team has scored an ace.
Hold the top, right? Like, they didn't do very well when the cabins to the festival. Then they got some nice runs, they died. And so look at how much value they got. They got push top. That's value there. Mid lane, we're probably going to get one, if not 2 towers here as well, just because the only one alive is Port. Just get a whole lot there. And now we're going to get some nice resets as well. Get a nice second or third item.
Right, Kira even able to take that top inner turret.
Yeah.
Could be able to make it out here as well. don't think JMG and Ultra Rare are going to be able to close the distance here onto the Fury. So the gold lead is now about 8,000. It is a monumental gold lead for UW Green Bay. That is still the win position. Excellent Soul lingering for the School of Engineering.
There's always time to throw.
Oh, yes.
Always time. I watched the finals game, or I have to say, where they lost 13K above them. So, like, there's always time. They got us a game 4. Right now, there's just a lot of man pressure. Hours being down. So getting these next dragons apart, especially push out, and we're able to that.
All right, there is going to be the Hound's Pursuit committed by Akira. It's going to be the pulse pack utilized to immune the Blade Caller. So a trade of ultimates there between the Fury and the Zaya.
Again. I thought Zaya's my favorite.
Oh, a little bit isolated right now towards the top side. Spotted out by Akira, the Silas. As a little bit of support coming forward from AMG. Going to land and going to get deleted. On a rampage, which the right with the wear of the right out. He knocked up by the Cyclone, but the Walkie could not fully commit.
Oh, no!
Looks like the rest of these Milwaukee members will be able to retreat back underneath their inhibitor turret, but Falco and Bam are still very, very strong for constructing speed onto the enemy base. A couple of turret plates farmed off of that top tier 3 tower already. Aaron is on the map. Akira is actually jumping into the base. About to get that ultimate back available. Get back out of the fountain. As the heat continues. Inhibitor towers are not pretty low. High code off the respawn for the Wukong's already been taken down off of the ground. So strong. And over the bottom of the Pocket will be able to make it back into the base, but the concussive flows dapping in his KM with the Spirit Rush. It's going to be a reset galore for the Ari KM. In the base. Not in time as Troglodyte gets the last lap in the end. The Mikey the Cosmo comes down from the sky. And it is looking like a 23-minute victory for Green Bay in game number 1. Ultra Ray on the respawn, but doesn't have flash. Tries desperately to shoot off this minion wave, but he's not going to be able to do it in time. The Nexus is exposed. The jungler is going to get taken down once more. As University of Wisconsin, Green Bay, they do not care about your 3 dragons, because they will destroy the Nexus in 3 minutes.
Wow, that's a pretty fast game.
Very
right there. Very well played. I mean, it looked like there's a lot of stuff to come back with on the side of MSOE. But that being said, that isn't what happened. They ended up getting picked one after another. So the desync of the death timers is what I like to think of it as. There's no way they're going to be able to defend the fountain because there wasn't going to be enough of them. Everyone ended up living. Tristan in that last fight was just sitting there pushing topside, hitting tower, and they were able to wipe through that whole team. Just shows you the power of Demacia. Even when they're behind, they're able to help take a W for their team. But we're at Fearless Draft, so we're not going to see these champions again. No, my best ribbons I've seen in the world. No, best Garens. We're not going to be able to find other win conditions and compositions. My big question for this is game 1. Big brawly mess. Like, we got as much money value as we could out of our play-by-play. Just boom, 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 boom. Do you double down? You go, yeah, I think our second best champions are better than your second best champions for brawling. Or are you going to adapt and go, okay, we're going to need a slightly different game plan to address what UWGB is doing with their side of the rift? Because they didn't really care about dragons, and we didn't get that fast. We got to have some sort of an answer for the pacing of this game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if either one of these teams wants to kind of change up the overarching strategy in terms of these, the compositions for this Game 2 draft. The Raiders, I have to wonder because, props to Troglodyte, really was getting bodied in that laning phase, but ended up being very, very relevant by the end of the game. And I have to wonder for the side of the Raiders. I mean, they had a very clear game plan, obviously. They wanted to stack those dragons. They wanted to try to get towards Soul. They almost made it there. But, I mean, the fact that Can't Type had such a huge lead in that top lane 1v1, but still felt the need to roam around the map and help out the team. I was kind of memeing during the cast. I was like, Troglodyte's just staying in the top lane. No other part of the map exists. But, like, unironically, that's kind of what he needed to get back into the game. Able to secure that first turret gold in that top side, made the Garen relevant again, and kind of allowed Green Bay to come out on top in the end. So I wonder if the Raiders are going to be a little bit more willing in game number 2 to play towards sides and not necessarily group for every objective.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a clear weakness of UWGB's game plan is top side. So being able to give them an opportunity window to be able to take top side towers, gave them an opportunity to get gold onto a champion that otherwise wouldn't have had it. Something that's a front line that has to walk up by champion design minus flash to get there. So I'm wondering how this is going to be adapted into game 2 potentially. I think they just needed to stay topside. The Riven just keep body him, take tower, and then do the sort of counter roam to be able to try and get some advantage over there. Like we saw, some shutdowns happen because of it, but they were still behind in gold. Like they got to find a different window, I think, to get game 2.
Got one more order of business here, Abba, before we go to break. And I would like to know your game 1 POG for the side of UW Green Bay. Who would you look towards? I think I've got a front runner in my mind, but certainly I think a couple of different arguments could be made.
So Cam, I think, did pretty well. They were able to get a lot of picks. They did a lot in the mid lane, got a lot of roams, and helped facilitate a lot of plays. But I also just want to give it to, Troglodyte. Yeah, you lost the lane, but you were very consistent and you got a lot of stuff. Maybe they were doing something bot side, but you guaranteed to win top side. You played it very well.
Production, do we have the post-game screen available? Possibly. It's no worries if not. Okay, no worries. Personally, I would vote towards KM. I really did think that the Ari is kind of what closed the door on the Raiders in the end. And, maybe a tilt-proof honor could go over towards Troglodyte. And, certainly the Garen was relevant by the end of the game. But I do think that losing that hard in the laning phase does on some level disqualify him from the POG vote, would be my kind of take on that. But I guess we could just agree to disagree potentially.
I've watched too much Bouse. I'll be honored. Losing topside, winning the game. I've watched too much Bouse.
Yeah, I mean that is just kind of how it goes, isn't it? So okay, credit to Troglodyte for losing lane because that is obviously what caused him to then subsequently win the game. So good stuff all around for UW Green Bay. A very quick victory in game number 1. We are now going to a short break and then we'll be back for game. Never mind. No break. We just yapped for too long, Abba. We are going to be going directly into the draft.
We saw how fast that game 1 was. Why would anything else be any different? We're winning. Let's keep going.
Yeah. All right. So I am noticing one thing I'm really curious about is so obviously Milwaukee School of Engineering, they are going to opt to move on over to the blue side here after losing out in that game number 1. But as far as the cameras are concerned, the view we have of the teams here, that I noticed that these cameras are on the same side as they were previously. I'm seeing what looks like a Green Bay Esports sort of table decal on that left-hand side. So I believe that's probably the UW Green Bay squad there on the left. Maybe if we could get that confirmed. No.
Right side is UWG. Yeah.
MSOE is not playing so the left-hand side is just other people hanging out in the lounge that are not affiliated with this match at all.
Yeah. If you look at it, there's 2 missing chairs for a 5-man squad. So, Ghost could be operating it, in theory. But getting back into things, LeBlanc versus Hui, potentially, unless they're going to put Hui in the bot side, which I don't think I've seen for a little bit. J4, pretty notable ban, in my opinion, along with Malphite and Ivern. So this is potentially a slightly different game plan, play set further back. We're seeing a little bit more of that kind of gotcha moments, I think, from UWG with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. LeBlanc, obviously, just a pop in, pop out assassin. Well, I'm curious what pick 3 is going to be on both of these teams with what's being shown right now.
Yeah, the Ashe definitely pretty powerful, and the Seraphine is kind of looming over this draft at the moment. I wonder if Milwaukee will be willing to pick it away. The pairing with the Sivir would probably be a little bit awkward. Usually Misfortune is kind of the option to pair up with the Seraphine. If the Ashe isn't available, they will take the Seraphine. They're going to be playing it with the Sivir. So a pretty unorthodox duo. But they are going to deny the Ashe-Seraphine combo potential.
I mean, denying the combo is pretty nice. Sivir poke plus Seraphine poke can be pretty annoying with how big Sivir Q is. There's obviously the mana issues you're going to run into this, but the sustain they're going to get through Sivir Shield, because you can do that for all the Ashe Ws. Plus Seraphine sustain is going to be pretty oppressive. Although I know Vern loves to play a good mill game here, so being the Uno reverse card, a Seraphine ult is going to be quite juicy. Should we see it?
Yeah, all right. So the Mel coming out. Wow. So what's mid lane? Is it the Mel support?
I'm pretty sure it's Mel support, knowing Verdant.
All right. Yeah, our boy Verdant busting out the Mel support. All right. So why did they tried to nerf Mel support, didn't they? Isn't that why it became less popular, or did it just become more popular in mid lane because I don't know. What's the story there?
I'm not entirely sure the trends with that. I think this is just we're not GMs here. There's playing comfort.
Sure.
I think this is just kind of generally how the matchups go. So there's a slightly different meta in the collegiate leagues versus professional. Getting a damage nerf from Mel recently, though you don't necessarily go for the damage with an Ashe one. You just kind of walk them to turret, which then ends up being fountain because of all the slows and everything else. So I'm curious how this goes. I could be wrong. It could be a Mel mid for whatever reason.
Well, we do have the Lee Sin. Very, very exciting. That is a known pairing with the LeBlanc. Can be really, really potent. Both champions obviously extremely mobile versus the Wei, who is extremely immobile. So looking pretty scary there for the Milwaukee mid laner. They're considering the Zac right now. That's something we don't really see too often these days. Could be a flex between top and jungle.
Yeah, it could be. The thing that comes to mind is, if the Zac is picked, Grievous Wounds is probably going to be something someone wants to pick up. Just all the healing from Seraphine and Zac. Jax. I was going through champions in my head, and I was just not thinking of Jax. This seems kind of interesting with LeBlanc and other champions.
Yeah. That is kind of, there are some tools here for Milwaukee to try to pin down the LeBlanc, but nothing really super reliable.
Yeah.
You're looking at Jack's Counter-Strike, the Fear from the Way, and Seraphine has some CC, but it's pretty slow moving, pretty easy for LeBlanc to dodge that. So they don't have the most reliable lockdown on what is already looking like a pretty slippery composition here for GB.
Yeah, so... I certainly agree with that. I do like the adaptation Milwaukee's doing, though, because this is probably less brawly. I think they're planning for Zac to knock someone up or Jax to jump in, and then the Seraphine ultimate comes in so they can keep chaining that distance to try and get that big AoE. Obviously, there's a lot of mobility to try and do that. Also buffer Enchanted Crystal Arrow to try and prevent a lot of the engages that's going to utilize that. So I don't think the game plan is going to work necessarily super well. But that being said, we saw Milwaukee have a pretty good lead on the top side. Jax, a little bit more late game than Ribbon. If they can get that big lead they had last time, get ahead on that early game champion, he could be quite the monster to deal with. So I'm curious how that's going to go.
Yeah, with the Cho'Gath coming through on R5 for Green Bay, I wonder if they are anticipating actually the Zac to be going into the top lane. Feels like that would be a more comfortable matchup for the Cho'Gath, whereas the Jax can kind of just like counter-strike your empowered autos. Although I guess the counter-strike does have a longer cooldown. I don't know. What do you think about those potential top lane matchups?
I mean, like we said, you were saying like the Garen like counter matchup into the Riven, and then they lost the counter matchup anyways. So I'm like, at some degree, like, does it matter all that much?
Sure. Fair enough, like, I guess.
Cho is just pretty safe because he can kind of heal after killing some of those minions. So I think that's more of the reasoning behind it. Just being a little bit more bulky and sustained oriented, just being on tank duty, I think is more of the game plan behind it than anything else.
Yeah, could be. Just wanting sort of a defensive option that can sustain in the lane and frontline for the team. Is that Troglodyte who's waving? Hi. Waving to the camera. That's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, overall, maybe could we pull or let's actually, you know what we should do, Abba? We should go to a quick break because we didn't get that before. Let's give our voices, I think, maybe a little bit of a rest. Do we have time for a break, production? Or are we just getting right into it? Oh, we only have 30 seconds before the game. Okay, never mind.
That's okay.
All right, we're going to be getting into the game in just a moment here. And then let's definitely try and go for a break afterwards. Yeah, we're just going to take
Yeah. That sounds absolutely wonderful. We have to see if the Raiders are going to be able to get some early tempo. Last game, the start was not even necessarily a 5-point, going for some early vision. They just kind of went to some lanes. I know UWGB just kind of worded that central brush into bot lane. I wonder if we're going to see some of the same stuff or if they're going to try and get an early lead at the beginning. We saw that with the Raptors timers that they were doing on the Wukong beforehand. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a little bit of a difference in how fast some of these clears are going to be. Lee Sin versus Zach. I don't know that quite as well off the top of my head. You're better in the jungle than I am. Do you think they're going to be able to get advantage there?
Yeah, I mean, both can be very active early. I mean, I think the Zac is probably just like a little bit too tanky for the Lee Sin to burst down, generally speaking. I don't think
I don't mean like in a fight, like clearing through camps.
Oh, the clear speed.
Like you can clear a little bit faster, so you could maybe get that gank rotation early to try and get a lead or something.
Yeah, I think the Zac is probably a little bit of a faster clear, but not really by too much. It's okay, it's a level 1 gank in the mid lane.
Well, there's that early lead I was talking about they might try and look for. That's not what I thought was going to happen, but okay.
Yeah, they are going to get that aggressive ward down in the Raptor camp as well as that massive chunk onto Toad. Looking like they're posturing pretty aggressively here in the bot lane as well. It was obviously the Mel support, as you initially asserted there, Abba.
Yeah, I mean, I would have got that too if I didn't know Verdant well enough. This game, unlike last game, we're seeing parallel jungling, so they're both going to bot side, which we didn't see last time. So we'll have to see if there's going to be any fight brewing that way, what the gank timer is going to look like.
All right, level 1, a scrap at the top lane, but Cantype's procking the lethal tempo and is going to win out in that trade pretty handily.
Yeah, can't proc the phase rush just yet to get out of the way. Jungle is topside if things get really bad with them being pushed in, but they really don't want to be there. They need to get that farm early on.
Phase rush Cho'Gath. Do you think he's going for that cheesy movement speed? Oh my goodness. Okay, we're gonna have to flash the counter strike already. Level 2. That is a rough
or it
start
could
for
just
Troglodyte.
be I'm getting bodied topside. I need to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, run away, rude.
Run away.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll see if Cantype is going to be able to build up a similarly large advantage as he did in the previous game. But just a flash so far. We'll see. As far as these junglers are concerned, it looks like the clear speed is pretty even. Akira is actually foregoing those last couple of camps in favor of moving in to try to get some information.
Yeah, I mean, they should know exactly where he's at.
So he gets in a steal. The red buff. Oh my god.
And the first one.
Mid lane. All right, and now Ultra Ray has no red buff, and he's getting run down by this League. He's going to try to go back in with the slingshot, but it's only going to be the passive procs, and the LeBlanc rotating in for this one as well. Who's going to get the last hit?
Oh my goodness.
Flashing forward, but doesn't get it. And now Boom does get the kill, trades himself off for that one. Sonic Wave connecting on to Packet. Kira, they're going to take that one. Oh my God, Akira, what is the plan here, my man? He's going to dash over to the blast cone, and he's going to die to Toad. All right.
Just need to get out of there. Oh my goodness. What a bloodbath. Okay.
1 kill for each mid laner, and also 1 kill for the Sivir, and 1 kill for the Mel.
Yeah. Which isn't ideal that I went to the support. Didn't even get an assist onto the AD carry here. But they do have 7 farm with a potential bounce back, so that is good in its own.
Yeah. Falco just did not. Oh, there's a Solar Snare connecting. Ogre going to reflect the beat drop as well. JMG is going to kind of get
this
styled on.
Support.
Yeah. Not expecting that one.
The ganks, though, getting...
Okay, both junglers on the bottom side right now. It's KM on the roam again here. Had that priority in the mid lane. Akira is going to be able to take the bot side grab, and Ultra Ray wasting a bunch of time here in the tri-brush. Is it just going to be a recall for the Zac, sitting on only 5 camps right now?
Yeah, that's not a feels good moment.
It's going to be a double crab, it looks like, for the Lee Sin. Can't type. Threatening to counter-strike. WEC packs away.
Oh, no. Are they going to
this is aggressive from Akira. Yeah, going for the Gromp here. It's going to get spotted out by Ultra Ray. The top laner is doing battle 1v1 right now. Not going to get involved in this jungle skirmish, it looks like. Sonic Wave connecting over the wall for Akira, and he is going to go back in. And that's because KM is here again. Finds the chain onto Ultra Ray. They're just trying to take the enemy jungler out of the game entirely.
Yeah, I mean...
now is going to be able to rotate over. Finds that CC onto Akira, but KM is still here. They're going to look for the Zac. No passive. Easy kill for the LeBlanc. And that's going to be a 1,000 gold lead. Now is Troglodyte! Oh, nom. Devours the Jax. That's going to be a 2-kill lead now for Green Bay.
2 kills, almost 2K gold lead there. Being able to get those, you can't counter-strike a feast, as you well know. Going back to that jungle fight, I'm like, I don't think it's actually that aggressive because KM has had such a consistent priority into the mid lane that they were able to get all roams and facilitate that. And we knew Zac's one of his big strengths is having that passive, but it was popped super early. So, holy...
Yeah, it is a massive lead in the jungle specifically, and it's got to be in the mid lane as well with those 2 early kills. I'm a little bit surprised that KM isn't sitting on a Dark Seal already. Opted to go for the tier 2 boots completion instead. Really wanted to index into that early movement speed, and obviously magic penetration as well is also very valuable for LeBlanc. But
yeah. I mean, when people don't have a lot of MR, it kind of makes you have true damage in a sense. And if they're doing all these roam plays, it makes sense. Maybe next back they go for a Dark Seal if things continue to go their way. But we'll have to see. This Chemdray, if Madison's going to be able to get it, could be quite valuable with Zac on their team and Seraphine. So I'm curious how this will turn out. More brawls top.
I'd love to take a look. Oh, yeah, we do have a little bit of a fight in the top lane again. Rupture, nice sidestep for can't type. And the feature's going to be utilized on a minion there. As, here we are taking a look at the bot lane, and it looks like this wave is going to be pushing back towards Packet and JMG.
Yeah.
I'm going to twist her name there a little bit.
I keep
Fear onto KM in the mid lane, distorts backwards. But Spiraling Despair is going to get a good chunk there onto the LeBlanc.
And TP is down, and they don't have the best wave clear, so they might be in harassment territory. It looked like Kira was trying to take Dragon by themselves, but didn't end up quite panning out just because mid lane's not as healthy as they once were. So if things went bad, they wouldn't be able to help out as much, is my guess.
Also, Chemtech Dragon is just pretty scary
Yeah.
in general. It's ironically, it's like the dragon that you care least about taking, but it's like the most dangerous to take because of the way it works with like the increased attack speed when it gets low.
Oh, yeah. I forgot
Very
about that.
scary for a jungler to take. So
Decrease.
you just always get chunked out by the
Your
Chemtech
mic's
Dragon.
breaking up a little bit right now.
The grubs are now live on the map. Oh,
Cutting out.
my internet is trolling me. It looks like.
So slightly. Grubs back onto the map as Crewman was just saying that it looks like we have some sort of action at the top, but it looks like they're opting to just get some camps instead, being they're down 26 CS, so over 5 camps, and that's at least a level's worth of XP being missing. Oof. Oh, and red side, UWBG is taking it there. We got a nice roam as per usual. We got the support roam like we did last time for this early top side objective. We even got top priority for it as well. I'm wondering if we're going to get the counter into the bot side. Yep, looks like we're trading global objectives. Pack being able to push because they're stiffer into the bot side. Makes a lot of sense. I think we'll be able to get this. Gold lead's been shrinking just a little bit because of this. So this is good news if you are a Madison fan. Oh, this is not good news. No kill. No kill being there. The chain was there. More action happening to the bot side. Blast gun's being taken. It looks like there's going to be a no-go action here, but Kira's returning, potentially trying to cheese the red buff, going back into push so no one can see them. Meanwhile, mid lane, oh my goodness, the AoE, the fear, but they get the wrong LeBlanc, as you always do. You kill the clone. Oh, the fights just keep happening. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a breathing room right now. Mic check on Crewman. How's your internet? Does it stop trolling you? No trundle? Not in the room. Rip. He must be disconnecting, reconnecting. Classic IT troubleshooting. Getting out, getting back in. Meanwhile, we're going here. Here's the Enchanted Crystal Arrow going through. Oh, we missed the charm completely being chased down with the volley. Bird and Chaos still getting the kill on JMG. They got both the kills out of the bot lane, one earlier, pushing through the jungle at the beginning, and then the one right there. But still being able to pressure this, get some pressure there. The LeBlanc shutdown, absolutely massive. Meanwhile, Akira going for the tower dive there because JMG was gone. They were disconnected. Very potent roam potential to be occurring. With all that happening, 2,000 gold lead being an advantage. We're going to have to see if this fight's going to be going through. Can't type, can do a lot of damage once lethal tempo keeps on hitting. It looks like they should be fine. Troglodyte, they're backing off. They get the feast, they get a little bit of health back from just being Shogath. The resets aren't going to be super great. They're going to be getting a push back, which isn't when you want to be using your back timers. Ideally, you want to have like a second wave crash. So enough time to come back, and do that, especially if it's a cannon wave. This is going to force out a teleport in response, just so they don't lose too much XP. They're too low in mana for all that to happen. Good news for them, they have that Sunfire Cape. They should be able to get good wave clear out of this. This is a pretty common item for tanks to have, just so they can get that farm. They've been able to keep up into game 2. Oh, and we're getting caught out into the mid side. Is the Zac passive still alive? We'll find out in just a minute. Zac passive has been procced. Meanwhile, top side is getting some fighting. Are we going to get this finished? Bird Chaos taking yet another kill from their support, or I should say kill secured, not kill stolen. And we're seeing some more grievous wounds, like I was talking about in the draft phase, coming out of Mel, just to be able to play it in an AoE fashion. Should be helpful for a lot of these fights. We're getting a roam here. Akira just being jumping. Oh my goodness. Akira getting a fight to the mid side, being able to get that. They were able to push, get a tower plating, all at minute 13. Meanwhile, we almost got a kill from KM to the bot side. The kick just quite missing before that recall occurred. They should be able to get lots and lots of pressure here. Troglodyte's getting pretty low as well. Can't type might be able to get a kill into the top side. We'll have to see with the wave push. He should be able to clear things out, and Troglodyte obviously has that silence on top of what they already have. So they should be relatively safe. I don't think I'm going to get a wave crash, so I misspoke here. Now, we've just finished the early game right now. First tower, 14 minutes, whatever happens first. That's the your classic early game. And it looks like the gold advantage is roughly 4,000 gold, favoring UWGB. Won game one. This is an item lead on one character effectively, which is enough to win games. But hold the phone, that AoE fear from Toad was enough to get KM absolutely devastating. A kill, just being able to get that. They're 3-1 on Hui, who can be quite oppressive. So, like I was saying, having a big, massive gold lead on one. Oh, well, we're not going to be able to get into the metrics here. JMG, yeah, is getting caught out right there by Akira. Another kill going out as we get more and more fights. Hex Dragons can be pretty important. A takedown had already occurred. Zac passive down. Enchanted Crystal Arrow. We're getting a lot of these hits from over the wall. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to jump over. Packet able to get the shutdown here. Can't type. Able to get across. We're getting the re-engagement. Boom. KM getting a kill onto the jungler, making things a lot harder to do. Yes, they're down an additional person, but no jungler there. Meanwhile, Troglodyte doing what they did last game. Staying up top. Chilling like a villain, taking top tower. That's where tower 1 went last time, specifically because can't type roamed, trying to make a play somewhere else. Didn't necessarily work out, and we got the guaranteed play top side. So even if you're in the situation where you might not be the better player, you can still get a lot of value out. Just gotta know where your windows of opportunity are, and just at least try and stay in. Getting back into the swing of it, minute 15. It's going to be a little bit more before we get to Hex Dragon. As it's just sitting there, no one's taking it. We got some tempo kind of being spent to the bot side. Can't type, just pushing there. And we're just getting some to and fro to the mid lane. The wave states aren't quite good enough to where they can push. Sivir's wave clear, Hui's wave clear, and even Jax's wave clear is going to make it pretty hard to consistently push into it. So this counter push into the bot side is going to be quite nice for them, as we're getting a double tempo or a double objective return here for a double objective top tower. Rift Herald versus second dragon for Madison and bot tower. Not going to necessarily be parallel maps, as I like to think of it, because the opposite sides don't have the towers, so we're going to see how things are going to be pushing. My guess is, well, the safer lane, we're going to have these bigger pushbacks. We'll be going to a less mobile laner like Packet or Toad. Meanwhile, the easier to grab towers are going to be up for type, specifically because they don't have teleport or anything else, so they can't just go cross map for something. They're going to be where there's free money. Should be able to push over here. Ooh. Okay. Hello, crewman. You just missed some sweet, nasty picks coming out of Madison. As you can see, the scoreboard's a little different than what you might have expected. We're heading at a 4,000 gold deficit last time we were talking. Now we're down to 3 for Madison.
If you mean Milwaukee, right?
Oh yeah, no, Milwaukee. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, they are looking like they're in a pretty decent spot. They have those early dragons stacking up again, I see. So it's looking pretty good. Looks like we've got a Cloud Soul this game.
Yeah. And that mobility can be quite devastating on someone like that.
Am I sounding okay still?
Yeah, you're sounding just fine, man.
Okay, nice. Going for a little bit of an engage here in mid lane. Ultra is going to find it onto Valkos. The Ashe gets taken down. The turret will fall, but Chaos now is trouble as well. Is not going to be able to get it off. And a couple of quick picks going the way of Milwaukee.
Excellent play. UWGB out of place.
Can't hear Abba now.
Out of place. Yeah, they got the mid tower, but like those 2 kills.
Is it me again?
What? Up.
Troglodyte.
Troglodyte.
Pressure in the tower. Kira is here. So is Ultra Ray. Lee Sin will make it out, I think, after stealing most of the Krugs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on. If people can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Or not.
Oh, I don't think crewmen can hear us. Interesting. Ooh, the fear coming in from Toad. Are they going to be able to pick off? Oh, no.
That is okay. Toad going to get chained up. Kira not quite going to find that Sonic Ray. Stretchy Strike won't land either. Ooh, the Severing Bolt. Oh, Kira might just be dead. The Golden Eclipse does come out. Toad will survive that one. I think I died again.
Yeah. Okay. Burden Chaos should be able to get a decent wave clear here with KM. I think they're going to be able to take this bot tower down. Meanwhile, we're just kind of in neutral, effectively, with some of these waves, trying to get some pushes, counter pushes into the mid and top side. That's where a lot of the action is going to happen. Minute till Dragon. This is probably going to be the next big fight. I don't think we're going to see a 20-minute Baron. Just looking at some of the goal differences, we can see top side, about 1,000 goal differential. Jungle, we're talking about almost a BF sword worth of goals just at 1,100 and 900 in the mid side, partially thanks to some of those shutdowns that Toad has been able to get. One was worth at least 800, which will really change that dynamic. Bot side staying up a nice 400.
Oh, arrow.
Kill. Ooh.
That's going to be a nice pick onto Toad.
Yeah.
Am I back again? Am I alive?
You're alive. We've been able to hear you.
Yeah, it is storming right now in Chicago, so I don't know if that's messing with the internet or.
Oh, that might be messing with it a little bit.
Sorry about that, everybody.
You don't control the weather, right? You're not Jackie.
Abba, can you? I'm not sure if I can hear you.
Oh.
Can you just keep talking for a second?
Yeah, I'll keep talking. I'll keep talking. You can't hear me. I live off the power of the app. Can't type. Trying to dive in here. 3v1. We're getting the root, the Sivir.
Troglodyte.
Oh,
and definitely going to be going down here. Question is who's going to get the kill? It's going to be Can't Type on the Jax, picking up the shutdown. But that was a lot of numbers committed by Milwaukee into the top side, and Green Bay are going to take that opportunity to get their first dragon, which is pretty big for them.
Yeah, first dragon series for sure. For them, being able to push things out. With so much being pushed into that top side play, I almost would have just gone Baron at that point, especially with them showing on Dragon. I'm wondering if they could have at least set up on Vision for that in case there was an opportunity to do that for that call. But that's not the case. Enchanted Crystal Arrow, big cooldown, just whiffing up there.
Well, it's got rank 2 in it now. Not that long.
I guess that's fair. It's already a quarter of the way back. Plus, when you're in games, sometimes it feels like it's forever.
Yeah, pretty close game overall.
Yeah,
Green
the goal
Bay,
deficit's been shrinking.
Decent lead.
Yeah, like before you were getting cut off, it was about 4,000 gold difference favoring WEG, and now it's only about 2,000. So they've been catching up. They've been getting a lot of shutdowns. Hui got like good 800 gold shutdown pickup, and Hui can be pretty oppressive. Toe's been able to pilot it pretty well. I believe Can't Type has gotten a few as well, despite losing the top side matchups, being able to get some solo plates bot side with some of that pushes. It looks like we're positing Baron right now, and then we're ditching because we got caught in vision, which makes sense.
So Abba, we are both turning into robots, at least on my end. I'm not sure if that's just
you
me.
sound as delightful as ever on my end.
Oh, so it's just
so
me.
I think it's Chicago.
So I can mute the stream, but when I mute the stream, then I can't hear Abba anymore. So I'm not sure.
One-way muting, interesting.
It's very weird. It was not like this before.
Check your video ninja settings. Make sure everything's hooked up. That being said, big mute, big team fight happening into WEC and KM, or Packet being able to kill Akira. They're not KM. Big pushback. No big objectives to be had right there other than the champions. It looks like they're going to be able to rotate into the mid side. Stop this push here. The Zac dive, being able to grab, there. Not getting that second auto though. Just needed to hit a minion there to grab him. Would have got a kill probably. It looks like. Okay, so we're setting up. We got some of that vision. We see the control ward, picking that out. Don't see any big major zoning tools other than like jungle and JMG. They don't have any vision across the Baron pit. Now we got at least a little bit. It looks like they're backing off, which is just kind of what you want as UWGB. At this stage, they're not taking it. Dragon's not up for another minute 30, so team fight like this. Oh,
big kill onto Toad. And Ultra Ray slowed up. Akira gets in there for the ward hop kick, and they are going to be able to pick off Ultra Ray as well. So that's a big play for Green Bay. They are going to now consider the Baron. They got the kill onto the jungler. 5 versus 3 on the map.
That is, yeah. I mean, killing the jungler here is a pretty big number advantage. We've got teleport and some big name champions. So we can just peel at the Baron. I mean, look at that HP going down. That 4,000 gold differential I was talking about earlier has reared its ugly head again. About 3,000 to 4,000, give or take, is enough to win a game by itself. Baron's going to skyrocket this just because of gold by itself, as we can see the top side extended a little bit further. You have a great reset period after all these kills, and they should just be able to push, and at least get a tower, maybe 2. Some of these are pretty low. As we can see, that prod's highlighting, below. There's some nice goal differences. Jungle being a pretty good contender for it. Mid and bot are pretty close. And top side, has a nice one as well, which isn't always where you see it, especially with a tank on one of them.
All right. So now, Baron, what can they do with it? WEC getting jumped on by the Zac. Tries to flash over the wall, but doesn't manage to get over that wall. And WEC will be taken down, killing spree for the Jags.
So, I get removing Trog here. He's got the Baron buff, push. I don't get why, if there's this many people on here, we're committing so many people to Dragon, if I'm going to nitpick for a little bit. We get the bot tower, we get Dragon, we get that. We probably could have gotten a little bit more of a push with how many people are showing. I do like the counter push that we're seeing topside just to get a little bit of value. But now we have to defend against this Baron push, right? They should just be able to siege, get stuff, wait for cooldowns, and get a nice pick. It's going to be really hard to push into a Sivir and Seraphine. So I'm just curious, how they're going to be able to utilize this Baron buff for a win.
Yeah, they've only got it for about a little over a minute, I think.
Yeah. and they just reset.
Oh.
So I think this is going to be like it for the big giant above.
I mean, they do have now back up to a 4,000 gold lead. They did get that second dragon. Yeah, Troglodyte did get picked off again, but not the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah. Notably, there's some. Oh,
Ooh, KM. Okay, still very strong. That's a 3-item LeBlanc.
yeah. I was about to
Seraphine there,
highlight
and then
3
there was-
items. Holy cow! That felt like 10.
Oh, we're gonna find another pick here onto the Zac, who is gonna live a little bit longer than Seraphine.
Oh,
That is going to be a chance for Ferrero coming through as well. And KM is unstoppable. Number 7 for the mid laner.
yeah. No Dark Seal required.
Nope.
Nope. Some of these big playmaking tools are down. No Lee Sin ultimate. No Channel Quick Arrow coming out of Valcom. But we still do have the monster of the top lane.
Spiraling Despair is going to connect. The Chode hit by the chains. Sorry, Toad, not. Anyways.
Someone clip that. Clip that.
Some damage. Toad hit by chains is what happened there. Oh my goodness. It's going bad to worse for me tonight.
Listen. It was Chicago's weather breaking you up. You didn't say what people heard.
Yeah. That's
Another kill.
a shutdown. Onto the LeBlanc, though. KM does get taken down. Troglodyte down to about half HP. Pulled back in by the Grassman of Valko. Going for the 1v1. And the AD carries are going to trade each other off the board.
Mutual
Chaos
destruction.
with an appeal for his top laner. Will be able to escort the Cho'Gath out to safety. As Akira maybe didn't get the memo that we're supposed to be retreating now. Does find a Sonic Wave over the wall, but the Lee Syndrome is not going to consume him. He is not going to... Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Classically Sin. Classically Sin. Oh. Okay. So more and more going on. I mean, it's just crazy how much action we've been getting into these games. That being said, things aren't looking super great.
6,000 gold lead now for Green Bay. It's been pretty great for them.
You're kind of stuck waiting in base in this situation, pushing out waves where you can and hoping you catch out your opponent. You know, maybe KM overextends, you get a kill there, which can rotate into something else. Maybe you get Valo instead. This is not what you're hoping for. They got some nice damage. Maybe they can get a recall. This is the big advantage for blue side, is they can take these kind of even HP trades back, and they can get back to where their action is, to travel as far from their base.
Kira does get the big Raptor there, and then immediately has to flash away. Flash for Raptor? Hashtag worth.
Hashtag worth. Yeah, exactly. I can see it trending now. Flash for Raptor. But on a more serious
Dragon
note,
in 40.
yeah, Dragon and 40. They should be able to put at least kind of like push waves out. They've got a lot of wave clear on their team.
Good control for Green Bay. KM's
Yeah.
putting in top lane with the teleport.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing too. They've got 2 teleport options. Both teams have it, so I'm surprised Sway did not go to match it earlier. Maybe they were just thirsty for a pick. So they kind of need
You
that.
just don't really want to be away in an extended lane against a Fed LeBlanc. It's just pretty
Yeah.
dangerous, I think.
Yeah, it is pretty dangerous, especially if you don't have vision. Because like you can't walk up. Like if you walk up to a bush, there could be a Lee Sin in there. There could be a LeBlanc.
They're going to give the Dragon. Milwaukee are not going to contest for the soul point. That is 3 Cloud Dragons stacked up for Green Bay. And they are just zooming around the rim.
I mean, I think it's smart to give. Like, why risk it? You fail, you lose the game. It's not soul. So
Yeah.
use that time. Maybe get a 4th item spike.
Oh, JMG's dead.
Yeah.
Wanted to place a ward.
Did
that was
not have their
allowed,
laning buddy.
unfortunately. Yeah,
Nice
they didn't utilize the buddy system. That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
They needed to utilize TCP here, otherwise they had packet loss. Sorry. Very nerdy software joke that I'm sure everyone got.
That was a good one. I got like half of it. They're going to start the Baron now. 5 versus 4 on the map. And Milwaukee just can't get in. They just cannot get in towards this objective. KM is just zoning everybody away. Baron is going to be taken. Milwaukee too late to the party. Chain over the wall. Arrow going to connect. Spiraling Despair only onto the clone.
That's a
At
great
least
cleanse.
nobody else going to get picked off on the side of the Raiders. But the gold lead is still 8,000. And that is a level 20 Cho'Gath, who's very large.
Big boy. Has been able to get like champion kills, or at least one of them with it, and I think they got some dragons and some other objectives, so we've got a lot more than just minion value out of Feast. Yeah, they should just be able
Mid
to
inhibitor
siege
going to be
here.
taken down.
Yeah,
Sorry, what
and I'm like, they're gonna be able to siege here, and then we got LeBlanc topside to deal with. I just don't know how you kill Troglodyte. They just kind of sit here and get a lot of value. They're level 20. They got a 2-level lead on topside, which is crazy to say.
Oh, there's a nice spear. KM, a little bit of trouble here. The Spiraling Despair to store away. KM able to dodge away from that way ultimate. I thought maybe there was an angle while LeBlanc was CC'd, but maybe it like had just come back off cooldown for Toe. Not sure.
Yeah, maybe. I thought there was an angle too, and I got excited, but then it was just the Cho'Gath turret kill, not anything else. Too excited for that. Here's the scary part. Double rod. Are we gonna? Yeah, I'm like, there's the death cap. LeBlanc knows a death cap. You thought they hurt before. Now it's painful with a 10,000 gold at this point.
Very scary. Very scary indeed. The Baron, though, it looks like it's going to fall off again. So 2 Barons. Green Bay still not able to quite end this game. They have broken open the base now.
Yeah, I mean, KM still has it, but probably not going to be there for much longer. Dragon's up in 2 minutes. I don't think this will last till Elder. They just need to have, like, a coordinated push in a couple lanes. They still have at least 1 teleport in case thing gets awry. And just push, like, top and bot side because the wave clear can't be everywhere. And just get stuff done. They should be able to force out a fight. Obviously, you have to watch out for like Zac engagement and the big AoE fear from Toad and all that. But like,
all right,
they can also just pick.
CC onto KM again. In goes the Zac. LeBlanc tries to sort of away from the whale net already on a couple of quick kills going over to Milwaukee. Is Valko trying to run, sidesteps the Severing Bolt, trying to get out as much damage as he can. Does manage to take down Pocket. But it's going to be 3 for 1 in the bot lane. Milwaukee finding a necessary stand. Troglodyte, though, will be able to take down that top inhibitor turret. The last inhibitor is exposed. And another cannon coming in. Baron will fall off.
I will say that was not a caster's curse. That was a genuine play they should have done. But we saw a couple people in the jungle when they tried to go for that pick. So they tried to like 1v4 and jump out like LeBlanc and be trickety because they got a death cap. And it didn't work out because they just didn't have the team together. That's why that didn't work out. I did not cast a curse, I swear. I'm now a witch with a W. I mean,
all right, so the game will continue.
Yeah,
definitely
36
Green Bay looking for the setup there to try to go for the throat, but it was a nice punish from Milwaukee, and so it will at the very least come down to this next Cloud Dragon.
Yeah.
I feel like this is something you have to fight for, though, as the Raiders.
Yeah, it is kind of important to get this. At the least, to delay Elder from spawning onto the map, because that will end the game much faster. The nice thing about these goal differences, though, as like the numbers get higher, it means less and less, because when everyone's full build, everyone's full build.
Dragon started up. Pulled out of the pit. A little bit of vision going down there for Milwaukee as Ultra Ray trying to force his way into the river. Can't type. Does have the flank position on the Jax. Look at KM, though, is just going towards the base while the rest of Green Bay are fighting backwards. They're able to take down Ultra Ray, and KM's just going for the Nexus. Does not care about this fight at all. Crystal Arrow going to connect onto Pocket as the McHale's is there. to get the Sivir out, to teleport back into the base for Toad to try to defend the Nexus turrets. The Fear, though, is going to miss, and KM assassinates the Way. Distorts back, dies to the Way ultimate. JMG and Can't Pipe now alongside Taka trying to defend against the Cho'Gath. The Cloud Soul will be secured.
Yeah, I don't think that teleport really helped that much, but I'm glad they were there to help things out. I'm like, I don't know what they do there, right? Even if that dragon fight occurred, like, you're not out smiting a Cho'Gath. Straight up. Which is a bigger number. So they had to find some way to approach that fight. And it turns out when your Nexus is on the line, you gotta make that decision quick.
Yeah, just really heads up, I think, from Green Bay, recognizing that they didn't need the dragon, right? Milwaukee did have to contest it, so there was a massive window there for KM to try to go for the end. Wasn't able to find the Nexus, but they did get the Cloud Soul.
They did get the Cloud Soul. I think they got one tower bot side as well, so they should be able to get it. They just need to be able to get like an inhib and some sort of coordinated push. Baron is up as well. This could force a game-winning fight as well. I don't see any like super deep wards they can use as a teleport to like backdoor the way through. But there's a
Akira is going
down.
to miss. Akira chunked down to half.
Yeah, it does have the GA though.
In the bot lane.
Well, there's a teleport.
Teleport, yeah, coming in for Can't Type.
Yeah, pushing them out.
Not really a lot doing.
Oh no, that's a flash.
Yeah, now Can't Type jumping forward. He's going to be jumping in his Ultra Ray as well, trying to go for the ultimate. The Spiral Despair does come out. The Encore is pretty
there's
good.
The reflect.
The Counter-Strike does find some good value onto 3 as they take down Valko. Now Troglodyte is going to find the Rupture onto Can't Type. In goes Akira, but not enough damage. The GA proc onto the Lee Sin, but the Blanc now is here. And the solo laners for Green Bay trying to clean up the team fight. They will be able to take down the Zac, and JMG will be the last to fall. It's going to be a 5-for-1. Valko, the only one dropping for Green Bay. And now it looks like they will look towards the Nexus.
I want to say that's how it almost ended last time. There's only one death. And then things started to bleed through, and they got it at the end. But that was an absolute monster reflect from JMG's Charm Ultimate, being able to get that. Some health bars got a little low here. They should be able to pick things out with, a 40-minute game. Death timers are super long, even though this happened all the way in topside. There's still 20 seconds per death timer. There's the respawn tower, and they're just going to be able to chew through this. And it looks like game 2 out of this best for 5 is going to UWG.
Yeah, 40.5 minutes. This one definitely went much longer than game number 1. Milwaukee making them work for it, but ultimately it will be at Green Bay going up to match point in this best spot.
So there's still room for a reverse sweep. We saw an absolutely great change in game plan from MSOE. It didn't end up working for them. There were still some good opportunities for them to get back into that game. Game took much longer, which is good to show. And this is Fearless Draft. So now we're on to your third best champion in theory. So I'm curious how the teams are going to adapt and game styles.
Yeah, definitely. Who's your game 2 POG, Abba?
Game 2, I think I'm going to go with the Lee Sin that game. Did pretty well. Was able to get a lot of rotations. We saw some of those early jungle plays, which got them like a 5-camp lead, like way early. And like a level lead in jungle is not easy to do. And of course, they had the team to back up and get that all done. So, very well done.
I'm never going to disagree with the jungle POG vote. Let's go ahead and get into a break so I can try and figure everything. Apologies again, everybody, for my difficulties over here. We'll be back for Game 3 draft in just a bit. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are now getting into Game 3 draft between Green Bay and Milwaukee. Looks like Milwaukee going back onto the red side for this third game, ABBA, their last chance to try to turn things around in this series.
Yeah, we're seeing some familiar bands before. Xinjiao, Akali, Ivern, Lux, all bands we've seen before, at least in Game 2, and I think in Game 1 as well. I'm curious how we're going to be adapting for Game 3. We have that obvious counter pick for MSOE. I'm wondering if they're going to wait to do topside, as that's been a clear way for them to at least get some decent value, or if they're going to try and maybe get some priority to mid side, try and win things out there.
Yeah, that game number 2 was definitely a much closer contest than the game number 1. And I don't really think that I have the ability to cast a POG vote for that one, given that I wasn't able to watch half of the game. But I did feel like KM was a huge menace again on the LeBlanc from what I was seeing towards those later stages. So the Viego actually going to get locked in on B1 here for the side of Akira.
I mean, it makes sense to me. We saw them get a lot of value in resets Game 1. They were able to utilize it on Tristan and some of these other champions. And we just saw how well they dominated in the jungle and that leading to a victory. So I could see a Viego, not necessarily as flashy. There's that Nocturne I was talking about in Game 1 as a response.
Wow. Are they going to slam the Oriana here as well? You know, it is obviously a very well-known combo, but it is execution dependent. Like if you haven't practiced this, if you don't have the timing quite right, then it can look pretty bad. So it looks like they are going to steer towards the Jinx instead.
Interesting. It makes some sense in my mind because Game 2 is the best game they've had. And that's where they were able to sit back and do like fair team fights rather than go for picks. And they were able to prevent some picks, as we saw KM died a few times, giving some shutdowns. So I could see it happening. Jinx also has some pretty good range. I wonder how UWGB is going to respond to both these picks with the Spell Shield and Nocturne being super slippery. Looks like we're going for a Vayne.
All right.
Not on my list, as we haven't seen a single tank, but we'll see what happens.
I wonder if it's a flex for the top lane. Oh,
ooh, good call out. Good call out.
Well, this would be a pick that they could go for.
Okay.
I like that more.
I was going to be very confused if we saw
Chaos
Yumi.
would never do that to us. Surely.
No, man.
Surely.
The man's gone on a tirade about not wanting to play Yumi and how he hates Yumi. So it would have been hilarious to see it in finals, just knowing him personally. Okay. Syndra, I like the champion. Pretty good at rounding out teams, good disengagement, and good magic damage.
It's super strong with the Viego. Because the Viego just wants that first reset, and Syndra has the FU in particular button to try to get that first reset online for the Viego. So, but this feels like a pretty heads-up answer into it. The Anivia having the ability to survive that initial blast of power from the Syndra and not give over that reset to the Viego definitely makes some sense, and has been pretty high prio recently in general, has the Anivia.
Yeah, and we don't have quite as many dashes that can go through terrain, so the Anivia wall could be a little bit more troublesome. I'm wondering if we'll see maybe like an Ornn potential as well, or someone that can utilize the terrain more. Doesn't have to happen, but it's like a nice happy synergy when it does, you know?
Yeah, certainly.
The Yumi band.
I am a little bit curious about these support bands coming out from Milwaukee's. I feel like they would love some kind of enchanter alongside their Jinx. I mean, I guess, the Lulu would be nice with the Vayne as well.
There we go,
they
Milio.
Have their eyes on the Milio. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, if not the Lulu, the Milio is a pretty popular pairing with the Jinx. That range deficit's going to feel more so 1 million.
So now what is left for Chaos here? What are we picking alongside this Vayne?
Well, I'm gonna guess it's he's probably gonna want some sort of like peeler, I would assume.
Well, Braum
We
is gone.
I
Alistair is
Ooh, are
gone.
we gonna go with the Kim Baron herself?
Oh, the Renata could be an option. It's not like a super heavy dive comp on the side of the Raiders. So the Renata
Mm,
value, I think, would be somewhat limited. And honestly, it's kind of scary to go Renata into Melio as well because Melio's ultimate kind of counters Renata's ultimate.
but it is auto heavy on the opponents for like Jinx and Nocturne. Okay, going with the Blitzkranku.
Is that the accent on the Blitz? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Blitzkranku is going to be the option for Chaos in this game alongside the Vayne. So not necessarily what we were expecting as something KM is finding something very amusing. I don't know if that's your pronunciation.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So we got the Gwen, a fun and interactive champion, auto attack based, Jinx, auto attack, AD carry, and then Nocturne as well. So I'm curious how that's going to go. I don't think Cyan likes that matchup versus Gwen as well.
no, I don't think he does. No, the Gwen is tends to do very well into the Scion. So that does feel
Yeah.
like a really strong pick for Milwaukee. I think they've got pretty good answers here in both solo lanes. The
Yeah.
Blitzcrank is obviously kind of a big question mark right now, right? It all just kind of comes down, as we've all heard this a million times. Blitzcrank, it's all about whether or not you can land the hook. So that
Yep.
is the question. Is Chaos going to be landing those hooks? And that could be in terms of these compositions, I think.
It really is going to be. I mean, sometimes you have to throw it. You have to threaten to throw it out. Also, if you can find some really good back timers and just go like top. Well, maybe not top in this case, but being able to roam around mid, maybe get an early pick there because we know KM when they have a lead, they can absolutely do lots of damage in return. So yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of how some of these early plays are going to happen out. Maybe we do an invade. I don't believe we're going to see that based on just how both teams have operated. I'm curious how some of these early leads are going to be utilized because there's some strong power at the beginning of the game with some of these champions like Blitz. But
Yeah, not as much though for the Vayne.
not as much.
Or the Syndra, really.
Yeah, I guess
Um,
there's the Syndra too. So maybe not, and we don't. Viego needs those early levels, so probably not.
Yeah, I mean, going for a cheeky level 1 hook certainly it can't be ruled out entirely.
Can't
Certainly, they could find an advantage that way, and it's
and you
not like
can't
the
do
side of
the
Milwaukee is
classic
super
buff
strong.
bull either, because that's been patched so long ago.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, what do you think, Abba? Do you think it's going to be the 3-0? Do you think Green Bay are going to be able to close it out here? Or, I mean, it's a pretty solid draft, I think, for the Raiders. Do you think they're going to be able to get at least a game in this finals?
I think there's potential for a game to be had. I'm not going to confirm game 4
Sure, there's
happens.
potential.
Just with some of those counter matchups and how they're going to happen. I think the linchpin is, do we get a massive lead in like top side or another lane? And then how well can support roam or get these hooks and execute that pressure that way?
I want you to put some skin in the game, Abba. Do you think that's going to happen or no? What's your prediction for game 3?
I don't think that's going to happen based on how things have played out.
All right. Well, here we go. On to the rift for the third and possibly final game in the series. Ultra Ray already in trouble. Surely is going to have to burn the flash here. Troglodyte finds the knockup with the Q. The Nocturne still trying to float away from the Scion. He's got the potion ticking. He's trying to get back in towards the lane, but Troglodyte has another decimating smash. The potion, the first one. Eventually, it's going to come through for the Scion. And now you're very amused.
Well, we spent, 2 minutes going, there's not that much power. And I'm like, Syndra doesn't have an early game thing. And like, maybe there's some cheese with like the blitzcrank grab. Nah, the whole thing was just the Cyan Q being able to flash and get all of that. Like, what? Wait, like at least twice. So it's just
Yeah,
it was just it's not gonna happen too. Boom, it's happening right now.
It was that first Q connecting after the flash for the Nocturne. I think Ultra Ray needed to try to flash over a wall there, maybe into the Brambleback pit or something. But Troglodyte was kind of able to just walk him down. And Chud Racer was able to steal away that red buff in the aftermath. And now has the wraparound on Toad.
Oh my
the
goodness.
Anivia is in trouble here in the mid lane. Going down so low. The red buff is ticking, but the potion is going to keep the bird in the air. Fear going to connect onto Akira, but the Viego is going to be able to get back underneath the tower himself. And Toad actually flashing forward is the Anivia. Flashing away is KM. Whoa.
No cowards. No cowards here. They're just all going for it. Finals is on the line. They got to find a kill, any sort of advantage somewhere. And I'm here for it. It's good. Or at least entertaining, if not good.
Oh, I mean, credit to Toad there for really not feeling the pressure and just thought he saw an angle, went for it, got the flash out of KM there. And, you know, with the way Anivia works with the passive, you have to say that's a favorable trade for the Milwaukee mid laner.
Yeah.
We'll get those summoners on cooldown. We'll see if Ultra Ray is going to be able to get involved in that mid lane once again, or if maybe Akira is going to get back over there.
Yeah. One thing I do want to mention, like we were talking about how this is not a favorable matchup topside. They got that first kill with a cult, and only a cult, or maybe
interesting.
So.
All right, there is going to be a hook onto JMG, but Ultra Ray's down here. And so Valko and Verdant are not going to be able to fully commit to that fight. As Troglodyte is going to get ignited, flash forward for can't type, couple more snips, and it's the ignite that is going to do it. And Troglodyte maybe feeling a little bit too confident after picking up that first blood, ends up giving over the solo kill to the Gwen very early on.
Yeah, looks like they were able to catch some of the wave, so it won't be quite as bad for them. And they do have teleport, but like... And they died while pushing. So they are going to get the bounce back. They're not going to lose too many minions. But the gold is going to be a problem if this keeps occurring. Up until level 7 is when... Actually, I think it's level 8 now with the changes. Is when the death timers are bad for Scion now.
Abba.
Yeah?
That Scion bought a serrated Dirk.
I noticed. I wasn't going to say anything.
No, I think we need to address the elephant. It's like that meme where it's the picture of the living room with the elephant and it says, address me. We have to address the elephant.
Yeah, we do gotta, I guess we do. I mean, if you're just health stacking, like going this kind of AD assassin style, I mean, I guess Faust Imitator.
He's going to be able to get back underneath the tower, but takes a big chunk there. Sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
All good. How dare these teams fight in this MOBA?
Yeah, you were saying the health stacking is kind of bad against the Gwen anyways, so taking the extra damage to try to fight is like...
I mean, like, you're stacking health, so you have some form of, like, a resistance on top of it, so if you go with the AD, I know Baus does this sometimes, just to try and get some value out of this champion. You just go in, get the kill, use your revive and whatnot.
Wrap around for Ultra Ray. Gonna find that Fear Tether. That's gonna set up for the wall. And, but the scatter interrupts the Flash Frost. Really clutch there from KM.
Yeah.
Preventing Toad from finding the Q. I think that would have been a kill if that Flash Frost had connected onto the Syndra.
Yeah. I think it could have been, for sure.
Troglodyte is where he is just going full boss mode in this game, isn't he?
That is like classic Baus right there, going in for the proxy. I mean, if you're in a disadvantaged lane, like if you can just stay even and farm, like that's all you kind of got to do. Obviously, you're not going to get a lot of grasp stacks doing proxies, but you're alive and not bleeding gold.
Right. Okay, there's a level 4 Nocturne in the bot lane now. He did just take the first dragon of the game a few moments ago. That is in pocket for Milwaukee. They've consistently been able to get these first couple of dragons. but not been able to transition that into game victories.
Yeah, I have been, as a bot laner, a first dragon hater, just because it's not super great tempo-wise. Because usually by the time you end up doing that early dragon, you're in a state where you kind of want to do it back, but now you're forced to do dragons, which screws up like your wave timers and whatnot. I think in this case, with how everything turned out, totally fine. But I don't think it's that great. It can vary a little bit with how strong dragons are, but I think in general, the time it takes to do it can be kind of awkward.
You know, in this case, I'm pretty sure Ultra Ray just soloed it. I don't think Packhead and JMG were involved at all. So just a solo dragon take for the Nocturne. And the wave timers of the bot laners shouldn't be too impacted. Unstoppable Onslaught in the top lane. Cantype able to sidestep that one. Puts down the Mist to get away from the smash. And just dodging away from that Scion ultimate with some schmovement.
Yeah, being able to dodge movement. Looking at a 2-wave lead right there on top side, so pushing up to another kill advantage.
All right, there is the Paranoia and the early flash for Troglodyte. That is not going to get you anywhere near safety.
Nope.
Easy kill there for the Gwen. Can't type up to 2.
Oh, you can't go for that kill. You just have to get a. Oh no, I guess those weren't yours. Never mind. Never mind.
They were his minions, and that is why he was not able to farm them. Yes, I understood what you were trying to say there.
Yep.
That is going to be a wave crash. Troglodyte did have teleports, is going to be able to get back to the lane and pick up that wave as it comes in. Nocturne, meanwhile, on towards the Grubs. While Akita is making his presence known towards this bottom side, but Pocket and JMG are relatively safe underneath this turret. Chaos fishing, but nothing biting right now.
Yeah, and the wave is getting thinner and thinner. Jinx has got decent wave clear with her rockets. Well, Vayne doesn't.
They for sure know that Akira is here.
Yeah.
Gromp still alive in the mix. Smite is almost available again for the Viego. The hook is going to be committed onto the Gromp. There is the Smite. So Akira will secure the Gromp, but the Grub's taken, and now the Viego could be in some trouble. Does have ult and flash. Try to get away if necessary, but the Zap is going to connect. The Nocturne is almost here, as is Toad. The Hallowed Mist, though, comes down. Chaos is going to have the flash.
Yeah.
KM pushing in the mid lane. Going to be able to get a couple of turret plates as a result of that roam from the Anivia.
Yeah, and there's such a massive like CS lead bot side, and it's pretty even mid side.
CS lead.
Yeah, which is not what you expect out of Vayne, right?
Yeah,
especially
that's somewhat surprising.
Yeah,
I guess because their jungler was playing on the opposite side, they just weren't really able to farm comfortably. There's a nice hook onto JMG, but Falco not able to follow up. Just busy collecting these minions, as we were just discussing, has been doing a great job of so far in this game.
There's been a little bit of jungle pressure applied here as well, and if you overpush as Jinx, you'll never get that kill, especially with a Blitzcrank threatening to pull you under their tower. So Vayne can just kind of sit there and farm even.
Oh, wow.
And
we are going
Essence
Reaver first on the Vayne. Is that a thing?
I don't think so. You usually get like at least one attack speed item first. At least when I played it, you'd usually get the boots right away.
Paranoia in the top lane, as that's a really nice wall. KM is going to get taken down by the Nocturne. And I'm not sure what the Syndra was doing in the enemy jungle there, but that is going to be KM burning the flash and getting taken down. Kill credit over to Ultra Ray.
Yeah, I did a quick look just as a sanity check. Core items, you usually get like a Blade of the Rune King, boots, and Ginsus. And then you usually get like either a Terminus, maybe a 300s, or like a Bloodthirst at the end. Experimental Hexplate is a popular item as well.
What are we doing here? What is this? What am I watching? What is going on? I think Troglodyte wants Milwaukee to get a game. That's all I've got.
I can hear it right now. Good death.
That was it. Was it
No.
really?
No, it's just pure copium in that sentence right there.
Well, I mean, it looks like Green Bay are going to get a dragon. Maybe. Ultra Ray is in there. Oh, Smite's good for Akira. The Spell Shield on the knockup is pretty nice as Chaos is going to get trapped in by that wall. The Blitzcrank is going to be sacrificed. Super Mega Death Rocket coming out for the Jinx. KM chunked down low. Ultra Ray is as well, though. Valko is going to have to dash away. Akira into the mist, forced to flash away from that Flash Frost. KM, decent scatter on it, too. Valko going to walk back up. Oh, God. He's going to flash for the kill on the pocket and is going to get taken down immediately afterwards by Ultra Ray.
I think that's fine for the Vayne to kill the AD carry for yourself. You're not going to lose any value versus them. And you weren't going to be able to get any of that farm anyways. So, yeah. But for the first time, I think in the series...
Toad has overstayed. The Anivia, the egg is going to be scrambled.
Yeah.
And they are going to give the kill over to the Viego. It's a shutdown as well for Akira. So that is pretty nice.
Don't count your Anivias before they hatch, as the saying goes.
That's absolutely right.
But Red Side, or not Red Side, MSOE has the Gold Week for like the first time this late into the laning phase. It's not much, but if you give a mouse a cookie, it'll eventually take your Nexus.
Another famous saying. Thank you for that one, Abba.
Yep. I'm just full.
As the Nocturne is now behind enemy lines, flashes away from the smash, so that is good news for Ultra Ray. Will not be hit by it this time around. The flash does get him to safety. As that was actually Valko on the roam. There was a Vayne involved in that play as well. A little bit surprising.
Game is full of surprises. Why is Troglodyte doing a double proxy? Why is Vayne building an Essence Reaver first item, then going for a BF sword with no boots on the champion that usually builds boots first?
All right, Paranoia into the mid lane. That is a flashless Syndra who does find another pretty nice scatter. The Nocturne not quite able to finish the kill, and in comes the Viego. Breaks Akira's heart, just like in the movie. As the Ensemble Onslaught tried to retreat. Nice flash from Cantype, tried to pick up that solo kill. Not quite able to find it this time, though. Troglodyte is going to be able to get away from the Scissor Lady. Is now going for a slightly greedy recall, and will cancel that one, thankfully.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Getting the push, they should have a returning wave. They might be able to either take the tower. I don't think Cantype wants to take the tower. They want Troglodyte to be forced to push forward. Use this as a good back timer, using the bounce back. You get a kill there, then they take the tower. I think is the correct play. If I do my fundamentals, as I always would say. But who knows how it'll actually play out. Hopefully I cast or curse that into existence.
We shall see. Yes, you have tried your very best, Abba, which I do appreciate. As KM gonna get stunned up by the Flash Frost. Solo kill for Toad. But Akira is here once again, is going to be able to make that a 1-for-1. Picks up the Anivia body now. Doesn't find the Q, though.
Yeah.
Oh, Fear Tether on towards this Viego. He is underneath this turret and will be all right.
Yeah.
Dragon in 80 seconds. Paranoia popped for the Nocturne as he's found the Blitzcrank isolated here in the river, but the knockup is there for Verdant. Has to flash the Zap. Goes for the ultimate as well. Valko is here with the Condemn. Should have to save his support. So Mary Death Rocket committed there as well. But this time, the Zap will not land. Chaos pretty lucky.
Ooh!
He finds
no!
the JMG, and the little Melio is going to be destroyed. And Chaos picking up a well-deserved last hit on that one.
Yeah, you thought you got away. You thought you were going to get me. Let this
yeah,
be
the old Uno reverse there, getting played by Chaos.
I can just see the Jack Sparrow meme now, but with like Blitzcrank's icon like crappily like put over Jack Sparrow's face.
Oh man, yeah, what a game! What a game! We got movie references all over the place. As slow into the Cantype with the dash, pressed the E button, and was K. All right, and now the wraparound, the double flick, the pincer maneuver onto the Anivia, who tries to flash away. JMG is here, and now Chaos is the one in trouble, stunned up by the Q, trapped in the storm by the wall. But now here comes KM back into the mid lane, finds the scatter, but it's going to be the Nocturne who is here as well. A couple of members chunked as WEC also on the roam. Can't type, still holding it down in that top lane. Teleport available for the Gwen. Dragon alive. First Mountain Dragon of the game. Top outer turret going to be taken by the Gwen. Still nobody answering in that side lane. Akira on the hunt, though, is going to find Pocket in this bottom side. The Jinx is going to try to flash away, but the ultimate is there for the Viego. Picks up his 4th kill. And now the teleport is going to come out from the Scion to defend this top inner turret. But a big chunk taken out of that one by the Gwen. Meanwhile, Ultra Ray is on the Herald. It's going to be a trade of neutrals here. Dragon for Herald is the exchange. Paranoia on top of KM. The scatter again is really nice from the Syndra. Need to work, not quite enough range.
This is quite the game. So usually 2 dragons are taken.
Falco popped the final hour here in the bot lane, looking for the outplay onto Toad. 2 levels down versus this Anivia, but he does have some support coming in from Akira. And they're going to be able to take down the mid laner once again. Kill credit over to Falco, his 2nd.
Yeah, being able to do that double on to the bird. As I was trying to get at, while all the team fighting was occurring, is usually MSOE had 2 dragons, and that 2nd dragon was exchanged for the Rift Herald. That's not the case this game. UWGB has 2 dragons to 1, and then MSOE has the Rift Herald. And we've seen some pretty decent plays come out game 1 for that. Game 2, the Rift Herald play didn't end up going super well, so I don't think it's necessarily the game-winning thing, but it can certainly help get you back that gold advantage you just lost, as you're down about 2,000 gold right now, which is getting into that edge of uncomfortable. But the good news is Falco still hasn't bought boots as Vayne.
No, he does have them. Remember, it's just because the role quest, they don't appear in the inventory anymore.
I forgot with the viewers.
As WEC is going to commit the ultimate once again and does get the flash this time out of Can't Type. And KM and Akira on the wraparound. They want to try to punish this Gwen. This is the one really strong point on the map, as the Paranoia committed in the mid lane. The Gwen is going to be destroyed, and Falco in the 1v2 pops the final hour, tumbles forward. It's Essence Reaver Vayne, baby. Pop it off. Picks up the 2 kills. That was a 1v3, I think, in the mid lane, and Falco just ripped their heads off.
Yeah, speaking of references, just play the Silver Scrapes at that point if you're going to be able to get that off. Maybe we're wrong to be questioning this, 3,000 gold lead bot lane, Essence Reaver first item.
Falco, trendsetter on the Vayne. 3,000 gold lead, like you were just mentioning. Absolutely monstrous right now in this game. And honestly, the Bao Scion with only 3 deaths, not too bad.
Yeah.
Did I just curse him? He is going to flash the Flash Frost. That was very respectful. I love that.
Didn't die. Doesn't have ultimate, so all that's there. And in theory, he can go bot, teleport for any Baron plays that might happen. Not that I think they're going to happen. I don't think these teams are quite where they need to be unless they get some massive picks for a Baron play.
Yeah, Falco, another BF sword purchased up here. What is this next BF sword turning into?
Maybe a Bloodthirster, just so they're like a little bit more bulky.
Could be.
Or I know Hex.
No, it's just Infinity Edge, isn't it? We have 2
or
crit items
Edge.
already.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think about it because it's Vayne, and Vayne never builds crit, but we're building crit this game. It's got to just be an Infinity Edge.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm just so used to Bork against.
Right. Yeah, the Infinity Edge didn't even occur to me at first. I was like, oh, it's Vayne. Sure. No, actually, that is just the play here. 80 seconds on the next dragon. Paranoia popped by the Nocturne. Looking to get on top of Falco again here, but final hour activated. The choppers go down, though, as well as the Wall of Vision from the shutdown.
Big shutdown.
Oh, that is a big pick. The Bane will respawn, and the hook lands onto the Anivia, pulls that bird right out of the sky and comes the ground. The flash is there for Toad. The flash over the wall for Rakita, flashes into the entire enemy team. Heartbreaker goes down, the Unleashed Power comes out, but it's too late as the Viego's already been taken out. Ultra Ray will follow as well, though, and now Can't Type is here on the Gwen, trying to cut some people down. KM, the only carry, still alive, cannot deal with the Scissors Lady. So that is going to be a 3-for-2 fight advantage for Milwaukee.
Yeah. Good pickup for them.
They're still down 4K, though.
They
and
are
those
still down
respawns
4K.
are going to come through for the
And-
Dragon. Troglodyte has the teleport.
Yeah, and their jungler died afterwards, so they have the longer wait time for the objective that's happening in 15 seconds right now, which is also not great for them. Diego's almost finished his third item. You're starting yours. Yeah.
But he hasn't finished it yet. This is a definitely a winnable fight for Milwaukee. Their team composition isn't great for team fighting, though. They are very limited in front line. It feels like there's so much pressure on this Gwen to be a huge threat on like some kind of flank angle.
Or side lane.
Chunked out here by KM. The Herald, I think just careening into a wall there. Shelly going to get 0 value, and the hook is going to land. They're going to find the jungler. Ultra Ray chunked down to half. We'll be able to get away. Oh, now KM isolated. Oh, that was a flash in a direction.
Hey, you can't do that. Your whole team's over there on the other side.
Questionable. The Nocturne is very low, though. The Unleashed Power did come out there before the Syndra went down, as the Scion is just going to go charging forward through the Banana Brush, which is going to give them some control over the area, but Milwaukee going to be able to retake this space.
Ooh,
the hook is going to land, and that is going to be a kill onto JMG, but the wall is amazing. Look, the Anivia ultimate getting so much value, and Green Bay just getting absolutely torn apart in that team fight. Akira is still alive on this Viego, but I don't think he's getting into this pit. So we're going to be tied up now in Dragons as well as in kills. This game 3 is a battle. Pretty weird battle, but a battle nonetheless.
Oh, yeah. I'm all here for it.
Oh,
Listen,
absolutely.
The crowd wants content, and they're getting content. So you gotta watch these seasons. You gotta watch these games.
AM back from the fountain. Gonna get jumped on by the Nocturne. Paranoia comes in. The Fear Tether is there. It's gonna be another quick trip to the Death Chamber for the Syndra. Killing spree for Can't Type.
Gold basically tied up at this point. A lot of important resources have been extended, or expended, not extended. As we're just kind of floating on the Baron Pit, I don't think anyone's gonna be able to take it right now. But we should be able to clean up and get some resources.
So aggressive right now from Green Bay. Akira in there over the wall. Your mid laner is dead, guys. Ultra Ray is going to flash away, and once again, another really nice wall is going to come down here. Chaos is going to get taken out. That's going to be the passive going for Pocket. Troglodyte trying to get away now. Will flash back over the wall, but stunned up, taken down once again. And okay, there is Valko. How did he even get there? He's managed to take down Ultra Ray. He's completely behind enemy lines right now. He's going to jump into a Flash Frost and get snipped in half. Kill number 7 for the Gwen.
I think we're being a little overconfident here. Trying to go for some of these sick, nasty plays. The Anivia wall needs to be respected. It locks you in. They've got so many kills by just locking a bunch of people in, getting the AoE, the Quick Frost, and boom, feel like your team's just too chunked to either fight or they're dead, and then people are a little bit too isolated. And part of this, I think, is Burden just has gotten some like really good hooks. Don't get me wrong, but like they're usually after something happens. They're a little bit more reactive out of this proactive ability, and I think that's part of what's been going on. But I also think like the vision game quite hasn't been there for these particular kind of plays, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean they're insanely aggressive plays that the Phoenixes are looking for here, just like pushing so deep into enemy territory to try to initiate fights, often in disadvantaged situations. Like it does feel like they are just expecting to outhands their opponents. And Milwaukee are not going to go down that easily. They have a very slight gold lead right now. Not really too much to write home about. It's a very even game still.
And usually at this point, they're up like 4,000 gold, which of course you could do crazy aggressive plays when you're up like 4,000 gold and you've got this funnel run to some like big champions. But when the gold is like this much more even, you have to be a little bit more tactful about your plays to get them to function. You just can't brute force your way through like we were seeing here. So with them not clearly being in the driver's seat, this just shows you how important it is to pilot your team and your champions as one cohesive unit.
All right, so some control over this topside river right now for the Raiders. But the side of Green Bay is not going to be doing any face checking just yet. Now we see Chaos start to move in. They're going to clear out this banana brush, get that Fae ward down. Meanwhile, can't type unanswered in the bot lane. Going to be able to take that bot outer.
Yeah, ooh, we're up 2,000 gold. We finally got a little bit more of a firm grasp. Yeah. Scion ultimate being expended.
In the lane. Not going to find the Gwen. Can't type backed off in time. Baron started it up now. They know that the Scion isn't here. And the Gwen does have teleport.
Yeah.
No vision right now for Phoenix.
KM doesn't have teleport either, but they're up in time.
Scryer is going to be denied. Baron down to about 6k, but Akita is here. The Diego could absolutely get into this pit. He gets in there with the Heartbreaker, but the Baron is going to go over to the Jinx of all people, and that is going to proc the passive. In goes Ultra Ray. They take down Akita. The teleport in for Troglodyte. Oh, the hook keeps the fight going, but now Chaos is going to have to flash away. The Zap is going to connect on to Valko as a Vayne. That's another amazing wall coming down from Toad. And Falco just had nowhere to go there. So the Baron plus a couple of kills. Milwaukee now looking for their first game victory in this series, potentially.
They are certainly looking well for it at this state, being able to get all these picks. I like the idea of going for the hook there, delaying the backs because they're a little bit low and they expended all these resources. Ended up not working for them, and then the picks that did occur, Akira kind of had to go in, try and get that. I think it was fine.
It was a flip.
It was a flip. That happens. You don't win every heads flip, but it does mean when you lose, you're also just kind of losing a lot of value. There's a risk for you losing this break.
Well, Akita's back, but no way in the pit. The smite is going to be good from Ultra Ray, and now they're going to find another kill onto the Crank. Paranoia committed. Now Ultra Ray going very deep for this one, flashing in his can type, try to follow up on this engage. The Condemn actually pushes the Gwen out of the decimating smash, and that Scion was just dead to rights. But another wall, of course, from Toad. And they're going to be able to get that kill onto Troglodyte. So another objective, a couple of more kills going over to Milwaukee, and the Phoenixes are just kind of falling apart right now, it feels like to me.
It does. I mean, this is that big 4,000 gold lead I was talking about. You can just kind of like force things out. And they've been able to get some vision. They've got pretty good wave clear with Jinx and Anivia. And they've got good pick potential. They've got good side wave potential as well. There's no like clear answer to Gwen for me. There's no like one single champion that I think can answer it. Kane could maybe do that, but...
Akita was trying for a cheeky flank angle to catch an isolated member, but there were no isolated members. There were, in fact, 4 members together. There's an isolated member. Yep. Okay, the Unleashed Power is going to be able to take down Can't Type. So it's a 1-for-1 across the map. But this mid inhibitor turret pretty lightly defended right now. In goes the Nocturne. Oh, the wall doesn't quite pin in the Vayne this time, though. Valko, the potential to play, but no, he's chunked down too low. Has to go back to heal. The Super Mega Death Rocket is not going to connect. They're not going to need it to take down this inhibitor. Baron about to fall off in about 10 seconds here, so probably just going to be that mid inhibitor for the Raiders. Successful raid on the Phoenix base. I think their first of the series. Is that the first inhibitor they've taken in this series?
Yep. They usually don't get to the tier 2s. I think they've taken out a few tier 2s, but they've never taken out a tier 3 turret for the inhib turret. Which is good news for them. They're doing quite well. they clearly know what to do when they're in the driver's seat. When they're not in the driver's seat with that gold lead, it's a little bit more difficult. They clearly know how to like leverage side lane pressure and then get some good picks as well when they can see them.
Oh, Paranoia onto Akira. Does get the Heartbreaker over the wall. He'll survive. Tradables between the junglers.
There's no major objectives right now, so it's all going to be this like how they answer mid lane pressure. There's perma priority there with the super minions, and then finding ways to utilize these teleports that both sides have to get a side wave push to try and find some answer there. Objective bounties are on, so there's potential to try and get some comeback potential there. There's some bounties, not all of them are that big, but if we can get this Jinx, that's another 800 gold. We can get onto a singular champion, which is quite good. It's 2 minutes before Soul, which is going to be a whole lot of resistances. Good news is there's a Vayne that can potentially, not care about those resistances. But there's also just like on the other side of it, a lot of damage on red side that can just chew through your team.
Paranoia once again, but Ultra Ray going into a couple of different members this time. Not going to fully commit to that dive. As the Green Bay still trying to defend that last little edge of their jungle that they're trying to play with, but the wall comes down. KM, it's a nice scatter. Will it be enough? The zap connects. The Syndra does drop the unleashed power and survives. It's going to be Toad going golden. Oh my goodness, the flash away. The rocket took down the auto in the air. Took down KM as his teammate flashed into him. I'm pretty sure that's what just happened.
Yeah.
I think Chaos flashed over the wall with the Jinx auto in the air, and the splash damage killed his mid laner. That is so tragic.
So tragic. Alexa played Despacito. Yeah, they're able to get a lot of...
the hook.
That's a good hook. That's a good hook.
They're going to burst down the Gwen. A huge hook. Chaos redeeming himself immediately as now Akira dashing forward with the stolen Gwen, but cannot fully commit. Doesn't want to give that advantage back over. So they're going to stop the siege for the side of Green Bay. They're going to hold on to the rest of their base for now. Dragon in 25. Can't type will not be back for that dragon spawn. And KM is with the teleport, level 16 and 3 items on the Syndra. But maybe they've gone too early. In goes Ultra Ray. The peel is not quite enough. Akira is in so much trouble, but he has the Sterex. He's going to be able to survive for now. Maybe they can turn it around onto Ultra Ray. In comes the Scion on the side. Going to find the knock-up on a 2 with a decimating smash. The health bars going down low. Ultra Ray into the Guardian Angel. GMG cannot get away. And that is going to be the dead Nocturne as well. The Phoenixes, they're rising back up. They were a pile of ash earlier on in this game, but now they have become a bird once again. Going to equalize at 3 dragons with Baron alive.
Yep, with Baron alive. The resets have been really important that they get it on their jungler. And it just hadn't worked out, but obviously there was some pick potential there. Being able to utilize a super fed Gwen, it was quite nice. How the tables have turned. Getting those dragons, going to be super nice as well.
All right, the Baron, they were not able to commit to. As the rest of the Milwaukee... No, never mind. They are committing to it. It's not still not alive for 5 more seconds. Chaos off on the side here is just going to trying to distract Milwaukee. And he did succeed in his mission. He fought enough time for the Baron to be taken down by the rest of the team. Can they get everybody else out now is the question. Here comes the Anivia. Toad is looking for the angle with the wolf. What? Back in with the Spectral Maw. The Viego is going to get launched by the Blast Cone, but the Ignite is going to take him down. And now KM flashing back over the wall, trying to get away. The slow onto Troglodyte. The Scion is going to have to burn the flash as well. So they survive with 3 Barons for the side of the Phoenixes.
There was no need to go for that kill Akira. Like, you had Syndra, you disengage, you reset. This is going to cost you an inhib at the very least, and your Baron buff.
There's a big wave coming in the bot lane as well for the side of Milwaukee, but I don't know if they can stage into the Baron buff. Would be pretty tricky, pretty risky as Chaos. Oh, he's going to find another hook. Is that the Gwen again? It's the Jinx this time, even better. Shutdown for the Syndra. There is the Gwen going to get taken down as well as that condemn angle was disgusting. And the side of Green Bay, as soon as it feels like maybe their backs are against the wall, they bounce right off those ropes and they take down a couple more members. Now they are the ones on the offensive. Baron on for over 90 seconds. In comes the Nocturne towards this top side. Scion ultimate is available for Troglodyte. The wall is going to come down. He's going to succeed in taking that top inhibitor turret before he falls. While the rest of his team is barreling down the mid lane. They're onto that mid inhibitor turret. Next, another hook from Chaos. The scatter to follow up. That's going to be his Ultra Ray flashing away. Barely surviving on that Nocturne. Big chunk onto the Blitzcrank as well as Valko tumbling forward. Trading some blows there with Toad. The scatter is going to land for KM. The Anivia, the heal. Keeping Toad on his wings for now. Ooh, Jinx ultimate not going to find anybody as it careens down the mid lane. Very close calls there on both sides.
Just barely got that tower there. I thought the Baron buff was just too fast, and then I was wrong. The earlier top tower, the tier 2 got taken up through a random minion wave push. They got the objective bounty earlier, in case anyone was curious. But it looks like we're equalized, basically. Small advantage, blue side. It's not meaningless, but it's not as big as they once were. Being able to get some of these big picks, payoffs, getting some of these global objectives, like those dragons and Baron, has been absolutely a godsend for the team. The hooks coming out of Verdant Chaos to get some of those big shutdowns has injected a vast amount of wealth into the Phoenixes as well. But, you know, we've gone back and forth. We've teetered. Both teams have made mistakes. You know, inhibs are being pressured and taken. Anyone's game. And the death timers only get longer and longer. There's still time for Raiders to take a game.
Soul fight in a little over a minute. That could be where it is all decided. We're, approaching full build on most of these champions. Pretty much everybody up to 4 items at this point. Yeah, literally everybody except for the supports.
Yeah, I mean, and your support. So, RIP, gold.
Yeah.
Almost got a Flame Horizon as Vayne. That's insane.
That is pretty nuts. Yeah, almost halfway to 6 items for Valko there. Looks like it is going to be a Bloodthirster last, you have to imagine.
Which isn't uncommon. Just a little extra bulk heal.
So much control over this area right now for Green Bay. They have complete river control. Kida pushing ahead pretty far. Nice spell shield there to immune the rocket grab. Teleport into the mid lane for Can't Type. The mist is going to come down, dodges away from the unstoppable onslaught. That hook, ooh, very close. Just go between a couple of members, and now the team's kind of swapping places. Green Bay prioritizing that mid wave now. That's going to force a response out from Milwaukee. The Anivia, though, and the Jinx more than capable of immediately destroying that minion wave. And now it's the side of the Raiders with first move into the river. It's Nocturne already on the Dragon. The Mountain Dragon is being taken right now. Green Bay are not really doing much of anything. They're just going to give over the Mountain Soul here, basically for free.
They're just
really
getting kind of zoned out, I think, with the Anivia AoE and the Gwen, just because like
you have Scion and Blitzcrank to face check. I don't understand why they didn't really look for any kind of play there. There is a nice scatter onto 2. There is going to be hook comes out, but the Anivia immediately goes golden. Troglodyte on the front lines, but the Mountain Soul is going to be so tough to fight against. They do take down Chaos. The Rocket is going to connect onto the Scion as well. And it feels like Green Bay just kind of rolled over at the end of this one.
Yeah, they were putting up such a tough fight, too. Akira's not going to be able to close faster than you, I think. With the Anivia wave clear, you should just be able to, like, hit towers with Gwen, I think.
Oh, another beautiful wall comes down. Valko's going to have to flash. He was pinned in between the wall and the Chompers. That scatter is not going to land. KM has hit a lot of amazing scatters this game, but I don't think He's got enough scatters to save the Nexus here.
Oh.
It comes down onto the Syndra, who tries to flash away, does survive underneath that turret, but the Nexus will go down. Milwaukee School of Engineering able to get themselves on the board. They get their first Nexus of the finals.
Okay, game 4. We're getting to game 4. I know we've been super excited about these matches, so I don't think anyone's disappointed that's happened, except for maybe WWGB, who just wanted to get away with murder, it looked like, with those super aggressive plays. It just didn't work.
I mean, it was an absolute fist fight, this game number 3.
Yeah.
It was a very crazy game. We had Lethality, Scion, Crit, Vayne. We had, some very unique fights, some very unique angles being taken. And we went pretty late in this one again. Did we make it past 40 minutes again in this game? I actually didn't catch what time the Nexus went down there.
I believe so.
Couple of barn burners there in games 2 and 3. The Raiders not going down easily. That was the third game loss of the entire season for the Phoenixes, for Green Bay. Their first loss to the Raiders here. So now that they know that they can do it, maybe that's the momentum Milwaukee needed to try to begin this reverse sweep, this long road back towards a potential upset victory in the finals.
Totally optional potential. Game 3 POG. I mean, the Anivia was so good in that matchup, but top lane also did super well with their split push. So I can't type, just got a lot of work done, I think, early that helped stabilize them, get that advantage. And then those other plays in mid lane, I think, also happen. So it's a bit of a toss-up, but I think I'm going to go with can't type.
Yeah, fair enough. I agree that it's probably between those two. I think you called out the front runners there for the POG vote. I'm happy to line up with you for the can't type vote in this one. The Gwen definitely was a bit of a menace in this game for sure. Yeah, props to Milwaukee, able to pick up a game here. We'll see if they can keep it going after the break. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are now jumping directly into this Game 4 draft between UW Green Bay and Milwaukee School of Engineering. It's going to be Green Bay back on the blue side once again. They did have the selection after losing that game number 3. They're going to decide to stay on this blue side. And let's see what they're going to go for with this first pick.
Yeah, something that's been on my mind while we're on break is if games are going to 40 minutes, like, do you pick some of these like late game champions like Kale, Cassidy, where you win in the late game or not?
Yeah, it's a good call out, honestly. The both games 2 and 3 did go very late, like you were just saying. So that would make some sense, I think. But they had pretty good scaling last game, and that wasn't enough to get them over the line. So maybe the idea is you just don't let the game go late and you pick for early game.
That could be true, too. UWGB has wanted really aggressive plays. Maybe they just want something to facilitate it. They're just not here to cool their jets. They're here to like full throttle the whole time. We saw that, game 2, when they just tried to murk them in the jungle, succeeded, and just got so much of an advantage that they won through there. On the flip side, MSOE has been doing pretty well at team fighting. They've been having a much better chance. So, I like this Dr. Mundo pick.
Yeah, the Mundo is very meta these days. Very high priority jungle pick. So that is going to get taken very early by the Raiders. Smolder going to come through for Valco now. You were kind of talking about during the break, like it might be time for the Twitch to come out, but it is going to be the Tiny Dragon instead as okay. All right. All right, Akita. So, we were just talking about the two kind of different ideologies or approaches that you could look for with this draft, where you either pick the late game champions and you scale, or you pick the early game champions and you try to dominate the early game. And Green Bay have decided to do both, Abba.
¿Por qué bolos dos? Yeah, I want to both. I'm going to have a little bit of a Dragunov Smolder versus Aurelian Soul.
That is very, very cool. I do like that.
We're going to see. I think we've gotten. No, we didn't get Soul game 1. But every other game, I believe we've gotten 2 Soul. So we're going to have to see.
The Dragon Soul. As
the Dragon
Aurelian Soul. Who does, I presume, also have a soul. Although I don't really know exactly how that works.
When. In 10 episodes, when they get all of the Dragon Balls to make their final wish to become the champion of, Wisconsin. I think that's how this works here.
Yeah. Something like
the governor's office. No, as it goes. So it's high stakes.
Well, into the second band phase now. We've got the Ornn and the Lysandra taken away on the red side by Milwaukee. Yeah. And side of Green Bay, they're going to look to take away a couple of top lane options, it looks like. That Malphite is going to be removed. They do not want the Mountain hurtling at their Tiny Dragon. And perhaps another frontliner here is going to get taken off the board. Although Milwaukee do obviously have R5 counterpick. They are presumably going to be saving for the top lane for Can't Type up there. Our game 3 POG. So it's not only so much you can ban away on the side of Green Bay here. Jin
now. On game 4.
Peak. That does seem very appropriate. Okay. Lock it in. Jin Rakan versus Smolder Nautilus. We hadn't addressed it yet, but the Rakan does feel like a bit of a self-counter pick here. Nautilus being one of the premier champions that can actually pin down that Rakan.
Yeah. In my book, you pick Rakan for, Roam, which you can kind of with a little bit of Aurelian Soul, and you can roam around for some of these picks with Rakan and try and facilitate some of these Dr. Mundo plays.
Fair enough.
That being said, when you do that, you don't pick Jin as your AD carry. So a little bit of picking both options almost. He's kind of safe with his traps and you got W and whatnot, but he's not got wave clear to stay safe. He's not got arcane shift to jump out. You got to be really smart with it.
I suppose that's true. Yeah. Oh, Talia Pantheon. That's kind of shocking that Talia Pantheon has made it this late in a Fearless series. Really, really potent combo there. Okay, so and then
Yeah.
the Yorick is going to come through on 5. All right. So I actually really like how this draft has come together for Green Bay. I think they've got a lot of really powerful tools here. It is a Pantheon top lane, actually, I
Oh,
suppose. It's
okay.
either
Yeah.
Pantheon top lane or Belveth top lane. I feel like the
I
Pantheon
would
top is
say
probably
Pantheon
more
top lane
likely.
is more probable of the
Yeah.
two. Although we saw some really aggressive options coming out of jungle, so like Pantheon would facilitate that, where Belvath wouldn't necessarily. But I don't think I would expect it to go that way topside. So I think Pantheon makes the most sense.
Yeah.
So we
So
know. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking that, like, regardless of where the Pantheon and the Belveth end up, they've got some really strong agency with these picks. They have great global presence with both the Talia and the Pantheon, and they should be able to buy enough time with this top side for the Smolder to come online. Because that's like a pretty easy pitfall to fall into. I feel like when you're drafting Smolder, is you're like, okay, guys, we're going late. Pick for late game, and then you end up with a situation where it's like, oops, all late game, and then you get blown out in 20 minutes, and Smolder ends the game. His Nexus explodes, and he's at like 150 stacks or whatever. So they did not fall into that trap, and they kind of have their like early game bridge where they should be able to get to the point in the game where the Smolder becomes a champion and is able to do things. And that could then look pretty good, theoretically. Whereas, honestly, for the side of the Raiders, their draft ended up looking a little bit funky here. They're very light on consistent damage. Their carries are on Aurelion Soul and Jin here. Then they've got like a bunch of beef and some engage from the Rakan. So their draft, I don't think, has come together quite as nicely for me, but it is sort of a similar idea. Whereas, like, if the Aurelion Soul can get into the late game and we can have our epic dragon battle, it feels like both teams have a decent amount of frontline to work with here. And we could be in for some more cinema here, Abba. We make our way onto the Rift.
I think the game plan is, well, hold on. I'm going to make sure this plays. Okay. I think the game plan is can't type. It's going to be split pushing either with Maiden or without in separate lanes, and using that as a gate to win. Meanwhile, they have Aurelion Soul for like wave clear and like Jin for any like pick potentials, and Rakan can kind of move around with Mundo when he gets online. All of his damage, I think, is their sort of game plan. It's more like tempo skirmish-ish, and then hoping for like to win the late game off.
Well, we gave it an honest shot there for Akira to try to start Emmy Raptors, which is, of course, Belveth's favorite camp to start on, but wasn't quite able to get in there, so had to settle for her own Raptors instead, which is fine. And so it is just going to be accelerating the respawn of those smaller camps on this bottom side, and we're probably going to have ourselves a pretty quiet first few minutes of the game here.
Yeah, these aren't like very gank-heavy champions early on, although we do have that like split jungle, like going top to bot and bot to top.
Yeah, I mean, they're pathing towards opposite sides, which means they're just going to trade off Scuttle Crabs and kind of, I mean, they're not going to fight each other early on, which, could favor the Mundo. Belveth is certainly stronger early. But, okay, Dredge Line, and JMG is going to get sneezed on. And now we're going to have the Star Dragon doing some breathing as well there in the mid lane. That's kind of another similarity between these two scaling Dragons champions, is the sneezing and the breathing. That's a bit of a parallel there, or am I stretching too much?
I don't think you're breathing too much. Like, it's not all just hot air. I mean, these are dragons. They usually use some like fire-based weapon or something else to extend it. You're not going to be in like hot water for seeing something like that.
That was excellent. Well played, Abba. Well done there. I do appreciate that one.
Thanks.
But yeah, I mean, so it does, this slower early game does give us the opportunity to talk a little bit more about what happened in that previous game.
Yeah.
It does feel in large part like Green Bay, they went for the content game, right? It's like they were on the verge of the 3-0 and they wanted to try to get themselves some extra style points on top there. Oh, that's a pretty clean hook.
Yeah.
Smolder is desperately trying to do some damages. They are going to get the flash out from JMG.
Flank though, potentially.
But yeah, I'm curious to see now. Oh yeah, good call out actually on that flank from Ultra Ray. But Valko and Chaos are far enough back in the lane where they're not going to be exposed to that Mundo lumbering into their lane. They're going to be absolutely fine down here as the wave does come in. But as I was trying to get out there, Abba, I'm just really curious to see if Green Bay are kind of tighten up the screws again here. As Chaos is going to find another hook, but Valko is not. Really
it's not going to do anything. But he's
up on this. He's like, dude, I'm trying to stack. Why? What are we? Just let me auto the minions,
bro.
Yeah.
I don't got time to beat Fallen.
Trying to smolder over here. Oh, that was really nice. Got all three of the casters with that Q. As production, just, be aware we are going to need to go for some stack checks at various points in this game. So just, be ready for that. We don't need one quite yet, but
yeah.
We do have our very large UW Green Bay sort of logo and that portion of the screen where the stacks are going to appear. So we might actually just need like a verbal
yeah, you're right. I think
info
about that.
delivery there.
Ooh.
As the dredge line is going to connect again.
Well,
and I should probably stop calling that out because it hasn't mattered yet.
You're just very itching for a fight as a play-by-play. It's
I am,
your jam.
and we're just not going to get one for a while. Is what's
it's like the junglers. They're going opposite paths. That are not really super fight-oriented. We've got two late-game champions. Like, do I need to be here? Just let color counts do it all,
It's like if my internet was going to shit itself again, now would be the perfect time. Oop, I did that.
No, it's the time.
My bad.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, Smolder's stacking to the bot lane. We're going to get some action. Probably nothing's going to happen out of it. This did get an early ignite, so JMG is not going to be able to have as much kill pressure. From Chaos is going to be returning into it. The bounce back should be enough for Packet and JMG to get the bounce. They're not going to be able to necessarily help with this dragon.
Fun.
I don't.
Sort of a lane gank angle for Akira here. Gonna have to wait a while though, and he's just gonna recall. Never mind.
Never mind. That was gonna have fun for a second.
Nice shove. But the dragon is going to drop a star on him, and it could be a kill. KM goes down, and it's going to be first blood for the Toad as he hippity hops his way into the lead.
I believe it's a dragon, but yeah. First blood.
He's a Toad dragon.
Dragon, yeah. I think things are turning out pretty well here. This should be able to get them Infernal, which in a late game composition is pretty good. Just anything to get some of this extra damage ramps is going to be nice.
But Akira could potentially get the Raptor respawn, which is equally as valuable for Belbeth, as we all know.
Yeah. The only thing that really matters, listen, it's not from the Rift. I don't care. I sleep. The Lion does not concern himself with the dragon.
That's right. As KM going to get wrapped around on now by Ultra Ray. No flash on this Talia, but Chaos is here to defend. The shove pretty nice as the Mundo now getting chunked down low, forced to pop the maximum dosage. Akira not spotted here, but the Mundo is not going to face check. Is the Belveth going to reveal herself? She will, but is not able to actually secure any kills. Yeah, just a stop on the recall there. The Raptors will be claimed. And Troglodyte is going to have to flash out of the Ghoulie cage, or Ghoulie wall.
The goons.
Yeah, I can't remember the actual name of that ability for the Yorick cage. It is escaping me at the moment.
What it is either,
but I do feel like the Ghoulie wall does fit it extremely well. So I mean, obviously credit to Atlas for that one. That's some of his better work, I think.
Yeah. That's pretty apt. Yeah, just classic chill gaming. Pretty even farm-wise.
Here's a question for you, Eva. So, Pantheon, relatively early game champion. But I think the main reason that you picked the Pantheon here is actually to combo with the Talia. So how worried are we that Troglodyte is like not able to get any advantages in this lane? Like, is that concerning if you are a Green Bay fan? Like, how worried should you be about this top lane situation?
I think ideally you get maybe like a kill or two, or you get some sort of like lane pressure. I don't think it's the end of the world. You are picking it for like that wombo combo, but you need to be able to utilize that extra like early game advantage you have, mid game advantage with them, because when you ult out of your lane, that means main gets to roam free and hit your tower. So like you need to have that damage up there, and part of that is either going to be through like a CS lead or through a kill.
See, these ghoulies are so annoying for Troglodyte to try to deal with. Crab contest, it's gonna go to Akira. Better smite there for the Belveth. Able to scare the crab, but pushed out of the river now as the void objective is being started. The Belveth is going to be denied her grubbies, Abba. Oh no.
Yeah. The Twitch chatters, the Kevins, I guess the YouTube commenters, I should put it in this case.
Yeah, I suppose that's what they are in this stream. As there's another really beautiful shove as Packet in so much trouble. Already burned the flash, got hit by the shove after the flash, and that is going to be the first kill of the game for KM, who has honestly been having a pretty phenomenal match for this entire evening.
Yeah, absolutely been having a good match.
Okay, here comes the Belveth into the top side, but Troglodyte is going down very, very low as that Pantheon, that ultimate was not from base. He was already chunked out before the fight started as a solo kill. Or no, actually, that was JMG able to help out there in the mid lane, but it's can't type in the 1v2. Not going to get hit by the knock-up. One more smack from the shovel, and the ghoulies not quite enough to finish off the Belveth, but can't type there in the 1v2, just fighting him off. And now here comes the Mundo. Cancel the recalls, and this Yorick is now going to start building up a pretty massive advantage.
He is Keynote, Belveth, finally got Kraken Slayer, and has like a 2 camp lead, or is that 3 with a... Yeah, it's only 8, it's 2 camps lead, so gonna be kind of nice that they can get that. It's a shame that they didn't get that play into the top lane, which allowed for the mid lane kill to occur. And, you know, your Aurelion Soul getting any sort of lead at the beginning is so good. Oh, hold the phone.
Okay, yeah, another Dredge Line is going to land, but the double knockup is pretty nice, but still the damage is going to come through there. Valko with the Hubris completed. So much burst, actually, from this Smolder. They take down Pocket, and that is going to be Valko's first kill of the game.
Yeah. Oh, are we going to get some more action at the top side?
Troglodyte trapped in the wall once again, losing out on another trade there. Toad doing a pretty good job here in the mid lane as well. Kida is going to find out Ultra Ray. The depth charge is going to come through.
Dredge line!
Will the Dredge line. And Ultra Ray, the dosage is not enough to get him out. The curtain call, not enough either. And that is a nice pickup. Akita and Chaos joining up in the jungle, find themselves a nice pick. And it looks like they will be able to get a dragon off that as well.
Yeah. Going to be able to get a nice dragon here. Delay Soul, which could be very important in this game. We don't know what it's going to be. It's not going to be Infernal, and it's not going to be Hex. Which is, you know, if you're on the teams, it's kind of nice and bad. It's nice if you don't get it, but if you don't get those souls,
oh, wow.
It's kind of sad. But it's going to be Ocean. Oh my gosh, with a Mundo. Oh.
And little thing there, they actually gave the last hit over to the Smolder, and he got extra. You get extra stacks from Epic Monsters. So they're actually doing a really good job of accelerating the Smolder and getting him to his breakpoints as quickly as possible. Little thing, but just wanted to comment on that.
That's a good catch. That's a good catch. I was too disgusted about Ocean Soul Mundo.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah. So definitely something else we do need to be thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty stable so far. There's no clear winner in the early game right now.
Ooh, Toad clipped by the shove there, forced to flash. Nice catch out there from KM. Of course, Akita was threatening the follow-up.
I will say, excellent block.
Heroic move there from JMG, jumping in front of that hook for his mid laner. Really clutch from the Rakan.
Yeah, absolutely clutch. I will say the farm was pretty even, but like bot and mid lane both have that big gap, 30 for bot lane and 20 in the mid lane, which is part of the reason why the gold is super even, despite some of the objectives and kills. That being said, like laning phase ends at 14 minutes or first hour, and neither of those things have happened yet, and there's no like decisive winner. Yeah, there's a 1,000 gold lead here, but we've seen that come and go, as we saw last game, where anyone could have reasonably won at that stage.
I do think now would be a good time to get our first stack check-in on the little Smolder.
Yeah, how's the little guy doing?
Valko down there. Production. Over curious, are you there?
They were having some issues with their headsets. So.
I see. Can type is going to get jumped on. Knocked up by Akita. The York is trying to teleport out of this one. Is he going to get it off? No! The spear from Troglodyte through the heart as the man of the mist is going to fall for the first time this game. And that is really big for the Pantheon to get himself back into this one. He is now going to have the opportunity to take some turret plates. Obviously, no teleport for the York because he burned it to try and get away. And so that is going to be so much time now for Troglodyte up here.
It is going to be a lot of time. And we're pushed to like a 2,000 gold lead. Oh, hold the phone.
Another beautiful shove. Not quite enough range on that knockup from the Belbeth. Was that like tail smash or something? I can't remember the name of that ability either. All right, guys.
I just call it knockup.
Well,
that's all it is to me.
I suppose. Technically correct there. It is a knockup.
Oh, there's the dredge line. Oh.
Yeah, flash out from Ultra Ray. Another nice move from Chaos. Been very active on the map on this Nautilus. And Herald is alive. Belvet's favorite objective. Let's see if Akita's going to be able to lock this one down. See, obviously, Milwaukee are in the area. They want to try to deny this. The Grand Starfall into the top lane. They're looking for a play onto Can't Type once again here. The York is going to burn the flash. It looks like we'll survive. Seeing a fight in the mid lane right now. That's going to be a hook onto the Aurelion Soul. Toad, though, does have the Astral Flight. Not going to be interrupted, but Ultra Ray, he's going to be forced to pop the maximum dosage. The depth charge is committed, and the Mundo is going to get taken down. The Aurelion Soul comes out too late to save the jungler. The curtain call from long range. Fourth shot connecting onto Valko, but the Deadly Flourish follow-up is not there. And it's just going to be that one kill around the mid lane for Green Bay.
Oh my goodness.
Max range hook underneath the towers. Chaos a little bit too deep on that one. Does have to flash away. Now Valko in trouble. Flapping away as fast as tiny. Flashing in as Akita gets the kill.
Another hook
for the Velvet. The knockup from JMG. Those Chaos trapped underneath the turret. Is another kill for Akita, but the turret shot comes through. And it's a dub for the chin. 2 for 2 in the mid lane.
The hubris falling. They went too deep. I don't mean the item. I mean like your actual ego.
I was
going in
about that.
Too deep into that tower. Oh, being sucked out into the void. Going back to Fountain. The Rift Herald still setting there. Belveth kind of wanted to. They were passing topside. Ended up walking back. Play kind of worked out as they kind of weaved in and out of the tower. The aggro just wasn't being danced upon. They took lethal right there. Good news.
Dragon at number 3. Looks like is going to be taken by Milwaukee. They've got it down to half, and Akita cannot get over here fast enough. Cheeky rock over the wall, not going to do it. Smite is good there from Ultra Ray. And so the Mundo will get his first Ocean Dragon.
Yeah, Mundo is very pleased with that. Dragon stonks going up.
All right, Akira now in the bot lane. Looking for the knockup. Toad glides away from it. Drops a star on the enemy jungler. Akira is going to be able to walk away. Does Belveth walk? Is it more of a slither?
It's all a void trick to mess with your mind, so I don't think about it too much. This way they can't
out-juke me. Does she just,
me.
like, levitate? Is that what she does?
I think so.
All right, here comes the Weaver's Wall into the top lane. Can't
Wall.
type, can't cast any spells either because he has 0 mana to work with.
No flash.
And he is just a sitting duck. Just going to get taken down. No flash, no mana. Way too far up in the lane. Nice punish. There is that Talia Pantheon combo as they're able to find that kill. I say the first time that they teamed up, I think, in this game.
Yeah.
Successful.
I mean, if this is anything like the last 2 games, we're only halfway through it, so there's more time for the action to be had. Now, this is going to get a lot of value for Troglodyte, who's 2-0 right now.
Yeah. Pantheon looking pretty comfy at this point. Is still down about 20 CS, but all right. There's going to be a lot of CC onto Toad and 0 follow-up. Interesting.
Valo is just too far back for it to happen. They got a little poke and they killed the minion with that little Q bounce. They just want to get some stacks right now. Even though there's a 2-kill lead, the CS gap top side shows you why farm is so important in this game. Not just for experience, but as gold as well. Jungle, we've got that nice healthy lead on there. A nice lead on Aurelion Soul. Toad being able to put in a lot of work with some of those early kills, first blood and whatnot. Plus that 30 farm advantage. It's quite nice. And then surprisingly, not as big of a gold differential into that bot lane. So it's still anyone's game. The overall gold advantage is going into blue side for UWGB. So,
Yeah, they are. It feels like they are in a pretty comfy spot right now.
Oh,
There's going to be the falling star in the mid lane as Toad is going to have to flash away, flash out of that situation. Here comes Ultra Ray and Valko.
Oh,
Charge onto the Mundo and break off that passive. Akita taking a lot of damage though. Mom does come down. That's a big chunk onto both Ultra Ray and Toad.
got some time.
What happened to the Herald? Did the Herald just despawn?
Never got taken. Never got taken.
Oh dear.
I did a quick scan of everyone's trinkets and didn't to make sure we didn't miss it, and just no one has it. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-O!
Another combo into the top lane as Troglodyte flying in with the Grand Starfall. Can't type trying to run, but he cannot get away. That is going to be kill number 4 for the Belveth.
Yep. Absolutely more kills. A lot of resources was put top side. Usually taking 2 people to get can't type, so the fact that you've only died 3 times when you're not being camped, but like it's getting pretty campy at that point. It's fine. You still got a farm lead. You've been able to get some advantages and first tower.
Yeah, you can see Milwaukee pushing a little bit aggressively there into the jungle, trying to establish some control over this topside river. Okay, here's our stat
203. 203.
Okay, we're getting very, very close. Is he going to have it for the next dragon? I'm not sure. It's going to be very, very close.
Depends on how much he can land for his abilities. And he's being contested with some of this farm.
Might have the 3rd item done, but is relatively close to that as well. Oh, there's a big chunk from the sneeze and fireball from Valko, giving us the thumbs up as well. And we're seeing some recalls get channeled from Milwaukee. It looks like they are not going to have the position to fight for this dragon, most likely. They are obviously going to have the home guards, but
yeah, if they can get that, it's going to be huge for this fight. And this is Soul Point.
oh, we can see Valko on the Raptors right now. Is he going to get there? Maybe we check in again now really quickly before the dragon spawns.
Well, we'll see it if their HP bar has that little tick mark.
Oh, Falling Star does come out onto KM.
That's
but
not going to be enough.
Taken down first. Zakita is just too strong on this Belveth. Immediately diving in there. Takes down the Star Dragon.
Yeah.
And that should give them all of the control that they need. As Troglodyte is losing out to Can't Fight.
He's there. Smolder's there. I saw the tick in mid lane.
Yeah, so that is Valko now online. Gets the mid-outer turret as his team is taking the dragon. Feels like Green Bay are in a great position now. Troglodyte just has to hang on. in this 1v1, and actually here comes KM, but Can't Type sort of recognizing the fact that he used up his turn. He is now going to be able to get out of there without falling to the Talia Pantheon combo again.
Knowing the signs that you're going to get ganked, pretty important, so you can get that. If not, at least get some vision here. Now we're 23 minutes in, 42.8k versus 38.9k. We're starting to get into that like game-winning lead. Baron's on the table. We'll have to see who gets taken. We got some side lane pressure from York into the bot lane. So while this is being postured, there might be
hunting
value.
right now in the jungle. JMG with the grand exit dashes away from that one. The top laners have taken up residence now in the bottom lane, as they often do at this stage of the game. Especially with Baron to play for. You want the majority of your forces for both teams on the top side of this map. That is Spear of Shojin done for Can't Type. And, you know, we're kind of getting to the point where I feel like there's just too many threats on the side of Green Bay, and I'm worried that Milwaukee are now kind of reaching a point in the game where they can't really team fight anymore. Kind of feels like they have to play sides, they have to play these guerrilla tactics, but they're against Talia Pantheon. Feels like they're running out of win conditions here, Abba.
Yeah, we are starting to get to that rate with the composition. The game
Jin is just nearly like a full item down on this Smolder.
The nice thing is, like, he has that kind of built-in execute as well, so long as someone can get low and there's not like a whole lot of tank.
He's gonna have an Aegis Assault here. No, the E must be on cooldown. Is he just dead to the ghouls? Oh my goodness. Looks like the Pantheon is barely going to live, and Can't Type overextended looking for the solo kill. He is gonna flash over the Weaver's wall. The flash follow is going to be there for Akira, but now numbers in the mid lane for Milwaukee. Valko in trouble, tries to flash, but the fourth god is going to miss. The Aurelian's ultimate does come down. The Smolder is burning, but he will not fall. And now
here's the cleanup crew.
Try to clean up. There's so many low health bars, but the Bel'Veth does not have anyone else to fight with right now. So Milwaukee will not really be punished, but they would have loved that kill onto Valko.
They absolutely would have. I can hear the Pokemon doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. Low HP bars just playing here as they're just looking. Akira really wants these kills. They're walking around. They're trying to go in deep. And just go, you know what? I've learned from my mistakes. I'm not going to die diving. I'll get Krugs.
Yeah, he's going to be able to steal away those Krugs. And it's pretty much advantages. Oh, there's a knock-up onto Pocket. The Jin. Oh,
that is
shove
nasty.
was disgusting.
Disgusting.
From KM. The fireball from Valko is going to finish off the Rakan. And Akira's even going to get a reset on the empowered form there as well. 5.
That should be Baron at the very least. And here's the other thing. Can't Type isn't like in a deep push. They're starting to do it. So like this is the opportunity to get away with this. Of course, there's a chance for a smite steal to happen. Pressure is on for Raiders. And we're getting there.
Yeah, Ray, I don't think he quite has flash, actually. I think the Mundo flash is still on cooldown. Mom almost actually chasing down that other dragon. I think it's pretty clear to everybody who's winning the dragon battle right now.
Yeah, it's a dragon off and Smolder is winning.
Just dragon is... and I'm not going to finish that. He's dragon stuff. He's dragon so good.
Dragging D stacks. Got him.
A little bit too close there, Abba. Come on. You were playing with fire right there.
Yeah, you know me. I always get into hot issues. Pushing back to this ocean dragon to cool off these entendres.
Yeah, that's what we need. As JMG gonna get hit by the depth charge, in goes the Bel'Veth, and down goes the support. Akira picks up number 8. And this is going to be Ocean Soul Point for the side of Green Bay as well. Triple, or no, never mind. That's a Hextech Dragon they got first. But double Ocean Dragon, going to feel really nice for them as they look to put the finishing touches on this game 4. It's turned into kind of a blowout, 14-4 on the scoreboard. The gold leads up to a little bit over 8K now. And the Smolder is so stacked. So incredibly stacked.
Yeah, let me get into my Gen Z mode here. He's stack, maxing, and mogging on the Aurelian Soul. Did I get that right, or am I cringe?
I wouldn't be able to tell you, Abba, but it sounded like you did something there. So A for effort, at least from me.
A for effort, indeed.
Yeah. We're trying to take down the Maiden right now, and it's a little bit of a...
Oh, no.
Over the wall here as KM is going to get taken down, shut down by the Jin. And that is going to be Flash Burn for Troglodyte as well. So Maiden looking very juicy there, and KM does take the bait, does get taken down for it.
The flip side of this, despite there being a pretty healthy advantage, it's been decreasing. And we're still sitting pretty comfortable with a lot of these turrets. We're not even to inhib turrets on any of the lanes right now. For anyone. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like Green Bay are just kind of, they're in full Smolder mode right now. They're just kind of gradually closing in. Valko, he's just sneezing all over the place. It is allergy season.
That's true.
So he's just sneezing all the time. And Akira just kind of playing with can't type off on the angle there. There's going to be a teleport back out into the mid lane for KM. Baron is not for a while. We might have another little bit of a slowdown here. And that could be a good opportunity, Abba, for you to try to craft a game plan for me for Milwaukee School of Engineering to try to get back into this game. What do they need to do to give themselves a chance here? It feels like they're just bleeding out right now.
That's true. But we've been in this game state beforehand, which is good for predicting the future. If there's one thing we know, UWGB will try and push for a play and overextend. We know potentially they might go for a double play top side where two champions go that way. They can use that numbers advantage to try and get something somewhere else or anything else. They could try and just maybe do a little bit of cheese in one of these bushes. They walk a little bit too forward. Just Wisconsin gaming it, just absolutely murk them from a bush. They've got champions to do that. On some of these like early game champions, like Troglodyte isn't going to be as valuable as Pantheon. So some of that value is going to go down, but they all have at least like mid to late game champions. So those are all options.
All right. Well, we'll see if they're going to be able to make any of that work. We did just see a really nice use of the Weaver's Wall a few moments ago where KM was able to use that to secure that bot inner turret. And the gold's going mostly over to Valko. They're able to auto-attack that one down. So Smolder continuing to get fed by his team. Halfway to his 5th item now.
Yeah. I'm pretty close to Flame Horizoning as well at 100 CS lead for the second game in a row. Which is not where you want to be as an AD carry. That's never feels great. And of course, because he's been able to farm so well, that's more and more stacks, yada, yada, yada. It's classic Smolder.
It is. It is. See, 2-level lead between that AD carries as well.
3 in the jungle.
That's massive.
Yeah. That's not easy to do in the jungle.
Yeah, Akira closing in on his 4th item as well. 1 minute on their first crack at the Ocean Soul. We'll see if that is where Milwaukee decide to make their final stand. Again, it just doesn't really feel like this game's getting any better for them. Packet did just complete his 4th item.
Yeah, I mean, it's Ocean Soul. Maybe the tides will turn. The wakes will, crash upon the enemy team.
All right, Weaver's Wall. Sorry to cut off your flow there, Abba, as the seismic shove is not going to land. Troglodyte does fly in with the Grand Star, but now in a little bit of trouble. The curtain call to try to punish the retreat, but this Jin is just not able to find the shots. As flashing forward for the knockup, just find it onto the Jin, but Akira a little bit over-aggressive with that one. Doesn't get tagged by the Deadly Flourish. The briefcase, not quite enough range as Mundo not able to close the deal. Its mom comes down, takes down the
Oh,
Baton,
no.
and Falco just flashes in and destroys all of them. Triple kill for the AD carry as UW Green Bay on the march towards the Nexus.
Yeah, we try to get that split push, which is something, Can-Type could have tried to do, but, like, when your enemy team just gets cut through like this, you have to do a recall. Hope you can defend. Maiden's going to go down here just because of those, like, 4th item spikes that you don't have.
It's another hook.
And
It's
that's
the
just gonna be
shove
powers
onto
to
the
your
Yorick
champions.
as Camp-Type is going to get taken down as he can't play either. He cannot get his team to a game number 5. The cold of winter will be burned away as the Phoenix takes flight. Together, they will rise and they will become the WEC Spring 2026 champions.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, UWGB, for winning this out 3-1. I think they definitely earned this game. They were able to get some pretty good drafts. I think their drafts were more consistently better than the Raiders. Obviously, the Raiders still had some good drafts, and some of those games took a while. But they had to earn those wins, and of course, Raiders didn't come out, fully without a win. So props to them. It is the finals, so there was an opportunity, but they did not get it.
Yeah, I do feel like UW Green Bay were kind of able to like lock back in for that 4th game. We saw some wild and wackiness in that game number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it did feel like they kind of wanted to fit in the content game there. I think we'll be able to ask them about that maybe in the interview, which will be interesting to hear. But it definitely feels like they buttoned things back up for game number 4. They played around the smolder really, really nicely. And then Falco just kind of saw his moment at the end there. He was like, all right, I've been stacking all game. This is my smolder time to shine. I'm a grown-up dragon now. And he absolutely was. He was the stronger dragon in the end. Who do you think is your game 4 POG, Eben? We should probably come to some kind of consensus on a player of the match as well.
I mean, I think like KM is probably the player of the match with how consistent they were, or of the series. But for the game,
Chaos had a pretty nice game on that Nautilus. A lot of great setups.
He did have a pretty good one, but like I mentioned twice that the AD carry almost Flame Horizon their laning opponent. And that was kind of like the thing that helped them get those the farm leads, the scaling, the stacks, and all of that. It led to a lot of game pressure. So I'm probably going to go with Val.
I think we do have to give his team a lot of credit for playing around him so well. But yeah, I think Valco successfully did the smolder thing in the end. As I believe I was just hearing we're about to transition into an interview. Is that what's happening? Or break?
I believe so. Yep. Looks like we're getting it. Sweet. I want to open up the YouTube chat in case YouTubers want to ask something.
Yeah.
But
It's our boy. What's up, Chaos?
Not much. How we doing, you fine folks? How you guys like the
doing
the
just fine. Doing just fine.
I can't really hear him super well. I don't know if maybe there's like
yeah.
Is there like volume on your headset or something?
I just start screaming.
That's a little bit better. Maybe just like eat the mic, like put it deep
All right.
inside your throat so we can hear you better.
All right.
Okay.
Are we hearing me better now?
No, I can't hear him at all. Can you hear him, Abba?
Not anymore.
I think I know where this is.
Please hold. Your
Technical
call is important to us.
Getting this interview underway in just a moment here, I'm sure.
All good. Like all of that pressure was building up from the finals.
Hello.
And
This is Verdant Chaos.
we gotta wait for stuff to cool down with the
Can we
hype.
hear me now?
I believe to interfere from the Wi-Fi. I mean, you were having it earlier from the Chicago.
I was
storm,
struggling
so
earlier, yeah.
maybe that's rolling over into Wisconsin, and it's all their fault.
Oh, I hope not. Yeah, I mean, Green Bay is obviously the kind of northern edge of the state there, so I'm not sure if you guys are getting hit by the storms right now as well, but it definitely was pretty bad here in Chicago. Hopefully you guys were able to dodge most of that.
Yeah.
I got a nod.
Are you guys
That's
able
like,
to hear me
okay,
now?
hopefully we've avoided the storms. I feel good. It seems good.
Seems good.
Eric, can you hear me?
We'll just
Chris, can you hear me?
we'll just read your lips.
Yeah.
That's how we can do the interview.
That's a good interview.
Oh, God. You did what to the other team? Chaos? What?
Yeah, real.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we were getting a little bit weird towards the end there, talking about dragon things.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't really get any more specific than that, but we were kind of losing it towards the end there, I think, Abba and I.
You can't lose it if you've never had it.
Oh, that's powerful. That's powerful. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that one, Eric.
No problem. No problem at all.
Should we just like go to a break here while we try to figure out our audio stuff, or what should we do here? Okay. We'll be right back with a finals interview. All right, everybody, welcome back for your finals interview. We've got the victorious support here, Verdant Chaos. Chaos, how are you feeling after picking up that 3-1 victory?
Absolutely amazing. Seeing that this is the last game for a lot of our players, I'm excited and on a very high note.
Oh yeah, who all's graduating?
So we're gonna have Akira Speed Racers officially graduating, but then it'll be Velco, myself, and not KM not returning for the next season.
Oh wow. So only the top laner coming back then. Only Troglodyte gonna be sticking
Only
around to
Troglodyte.
defend the title.
Big shoes to
Okay.
fill for the team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
So
Chaos,
how
my
y'all
first
feel
question
today?
for you here is oh sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What were you?
Oh no, all good.
Okay.
I was gonna say, what you got for me?
Yeah. First question for you here. Obviously coming into this matchup tonight, you're going up against a team that you had already beaten earlier on this season. The Raiders, School of Engineering Raiders. You were able to 2-0 them in the regular season. So, obviously your squad coming in as the pretty heavy favorites tonight. How confident were you and the rest of the team heading into this finals match?
I mean, I think we were highly confident. We did face them earlier this season, but then also we had a LAN this past weekend where we faced them in 3 different matchups, and then we also did a bunch of different scrims. I think we predominantly won a lot of those, so I felt fairly confident in this particular matchup against them. Plus, I mean, KM and Velco just really had been balling out this entire semester, so it's good to see them just keep that going no matter the contest, really.
Yeah.
Abba?
I mean, game 1 was so quick with it, but then game 2 and 3 took a lot longer for it to finish off. What do you think really set off that tempo change for game 2? Was it just the fearless draft, or was it plays just not quite connecting the way your team wanted?
I think it's fearless draft, but then I think this entire season we have been 93 or higher percentage on blue draft. So being on red draft definitely changed how we needed to play the game and how we needed to pick our champs. So I think that definitely slowed the game down. In the game 3, we were kind of on some more uncomfortable options. And I mean, hey, we ended in a loss. They played that very, very well. I haven't really gotten a lot of practice on Blitzcrank this season, so I definitely could have added a lot more earlier tempo into the game, and I really didn't. I was kind of fairly unimpactful, so I think that was kind of one of our tougher options. But
yeah, I mean, you definitely.
Nivea.
Oh yeah, that Nivea was so tough for you guys to try and deal with. You definitely did have a couple of pretty good hooks down the stretch there, but I see what you're talking about as well, with maybe not being as impactful as the early game as you want it to be.
It was pretty clear between Blitzcrank and Nautilus, the difference in the hooks.
Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure. But the game 3, I really want to ask you about that game 3, Chaos, is I want to ask you about the ending of that game. There was kind of that dance around the mid lane where initially you guys had river control, and then you kind of pivoted and you seemed like you kind of called an audible and you went for the mid wave instead, and you weren't really able to wrestle the mid control back, and they ended up kind of just taking the soul and then winning the fight afterwards, and they obviously were able to win the game off of that. So I just wanted to hear from you, what happened there? What was the call? How did that go down exactly?
Honestly, it was just trying to play for the picks if able. We thought that we were able to just get a hook and pick the person. Honestly, and Nivea was so tanky. I mean, you did have the grandpa build with Roa and Seraphs, just kind of making them super tanky, plus the egg. So it's it was kind of hard to find a lot of those pickups. You had Milio sitting from downtown giving a lot of heals. So a lot of these pick options just were rough. So we were just trying to play for the God hook, and I mean, I got a few that kind of extended the game out, but we just had the power of their wallets just laying down on top of us.
Yeah, just the Nivea just a little bit too difficult to deal with in the end. That's fair enough.
Oh God, yeah.
Back over to you, Mr. Trombone.
I mean, when you were kind of looking at some of these draft phases, I noticed things were like a little bit different. Like we were picking, I think it was like game one, like top lane ended up being picked up super early. And we just got like a different sort of like priority than what you typically see. Like usually see like 80 carry support, like 2, 3, maybe even the first pick. So like, what was your priority as a team for picks?
A lot of times it was, I mean, this past weekend, but then also in like times prior, we just had Cam balling out on control mages. Like
Hmm.
we actually just B1 picked way over and over because it was all best of ones. And a lot of times people couldn't like do anything
Yeah.
about that. But then they had like can't type or can't text like T Rexen like in their top lane.
Hmm.
And he has just been feeling highly, highly confident, and he just didn't want to face a lot of those bans.
Hmm.
So they've been just kind of picking him. He's a really good fundamentals player. So I could definitely see why they wanted to just pick him out early. Plus,
Hmm.
Sam is most comfortable on tanks, or Troglodyte is most comfortable on tanks. So I think he always felt confident in that particular matchup. And then they could potentially play for the counter pick in like the support role or in
Okay.
mid.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like we definitely did see that kind of play out in the drafting phase, like exactly like you're saying. Pretty interesting to get some insight there. The other thing I wanted to ask you about is, kind of looking more towards the end of the series, or the series as a whole. We did end up awarding the player of the match over to KM. I mean, you were talking already a decent amount in this interview, Cass, about how KM's kind of been balling out recently, and those scrims recently that you've been referencing. And I definitely we felt like he had a really stand-up performance in this best of five tonight as well. So did you have any reaction there? Any words for KM? Do you agree with that vote for player of the match?
Uh, which game are you saying for player of the match?
Oh, for the entire match, for across all four
The
games, we
series.
thought he was like sort of the strongest performer for you guys. Um,
Yeah, I was gonna
you know,
say KM definitely took on a lot of pressure in these games.
Hmm.
I know that like over the LAN weekend, he absorbed a lot of ganks. I think today he most likely absorbed a lot of ganks. I think he definitely was our best player of the day. But I think like Velko was like a very close second, along with Akira. Like kind of
Hmm.
that core three made a lot of the pressure that we needed to win this.
Hmm.
So,
yeah,
but I
definitely.
would give the slight edge to Cam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to get in there again, Abba, or?
Any chat questions?
I looked. I didn't see anything from chat before the stuff happened while we were
Sad.
waiting in the interview because I said something before when you initially went. I do gotta add. I did see a Yumi hover. Were we actually going to get a Yumi? Because then there's a Yumi ban afterwards, and I'm like, I know you hate that champion. So is there a chance?
Um, we were like kind of like half considering it. I mean, like I can do it. Like
It's
anyone can do it as long as they have a can do attitude. I
yeah.
mean, we had Vayne, so it's like Yumi would go well on that. But if anything, we just wanted to bait out a ban, like
Mm,
mostly.
Mm.
I
So they
mean,
played right into your hands.
mhm.
That you were able to
yes,
reveal your trap card.
Yeah, I
yes,
was wondering.
absolutely. But it's that Anivia was just able to get the spacing. So it's like honestly, I don't even think Yumi would have changed it too much.
No,
Ah,
no, you need the space.
just would have been more prey for the bird. So
Yeah,
yeah.
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 No, if you had a
Kitty
head.
and cat food would have been on it, but
Yep. I don't know if birds usually go for that kind of thing, but
No.
yeah, certainly would have in that situation.
yeah.
But overall, it's a pretty dominant season for you guys.
Undefeated.
Just
Undefeated.
yeah, undefeated in matches. Didn't drop a single match all the way through. Sort of as you're thinking back towards the beginning of the season and just over the season as a whole. Were there any moments that really stood out to you? Were you expecting this team to be as dominant as you ended up being? Just kind of walk me through this entire journey, what it was like for you, any moments that stand out.
So we knew that last semester we were in the PCL. So like we were going against like the National League. We had made it to playoffs. Lose there. So it's like we were playing on the national scale. We wanted to scale back a bit this semester and just play on the state level. So like we knew that we were going to come in, we were going to be doing pretty good. We're playing against some of these national schools. So kind of starting out, didn't know what to think. When we hit preseason, we kind of hit the ground running. I think we had our first game was 31-4, so that kind of set the tone for the early portions of it. But a lot of these teams got way better as the season progressed, and honestly, it was very very exciting to see these teams just like kind of watch them grow throughout the entire season. So it was just trying to make sure that we kept our foot on the gas and we didn't let up.
Yeah, it's about constant improvement, right? If you're the best team at the start of the season, it doesn't matter if you let everybody else catch up to you by the end of it. So that is really cool to hear that you guys were kind of able to stay on that trajectory all the way through. That is obviously very impressive. So credit to you guys. Abba, did you have anything else for our man Chaos here?
No, I don't think I have any other questions. I think we've kind of hit everything about the finals. It was a good set, good series.
Yeah, I think we
Thank
just
you
got to
guys
hand it over
very
to
much.
you for some shout outs, Chaos. Any words that you have for the stream? Any shout outs you have?
All right. Well, it's a school night, so I'm going to be headed out.
Well, thank you very much for the interview, man. Congratulations on the victory, and looking forward to talking to you more in the future as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you.